You were tuned in to episode 30. Yes, I said it. Episode 30 of the Goodfellas podcast from G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. Got my man VP Shane in the building. What's going on, good brother?
Better if you introduce Blunt first, bro.
Well, I already introduced you. I gotta give him a special joint. So go ahead.
All right, cool, man. What's up, bro? What's up, people? What's up, everyone? I'm here surviving.
And rolling out the red carpet for my guy. He is back. We missed him dearly. BoxingFirst Vlog is in the building, aka Blunt Bayless. What is going on, good brother?
Nigga, you're on mute.
Yeah, take me off of mute, man. I'm upright like a brother supposed to be. So, I'm back in these boxing streets with the family. So let's make it do what it do.
Absolutely. Listen, we got a packed weekend of fights. We got JoJo Diaz, Haney, we got Lyndon Arthur, Anthony Yarde, we got Tank Davis, Isaac Cruz, Gonzalez.
Put Tank Davis versus Cruz on the fantasy league as well. I'll put that should be up now.
So Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz Gonzalez is on the channel, on the website, g5jeftv.com. It has just been added to the Prediction Fantasy League. So the people that make their predictions, y'all need to go on there and predict that one before that fight starts on Sunday. Trying to think, what fight do y'all want to tackle first? Matter of fact, Vlog, since you've been away from the game, you pick the first fight we gonna actually chop up.
Unmute yourself.
This has been my first day back in the streets, so I'm only on the main event, Jones. I know Dizan got a fight tonight in Spain somewhere with some dude named Flattery. You know anything about him?
I know about the card, but
I know about the card.
Yeah, okay. Well, now I'm just really catching up right now. I just saw the numbers for the Haney JoJo, main event as far as wagering numbers. So I'm really, it's up to y'all, man. I'm gonna just jump in where I can, bro. I'm back in it. You know how it is, bro.
Okay.
To me, I'll ask you both, what fights are you looking forward to the most? But I don't know if it's just me being me, but the fight I'm looking forward to the most is Yarde and Arthur. Maybe because I'm from the UK. I do love American boxing much more than British boxing. But that fight to me is just not even because I think it's going to give me the most action. It's just I feel like it's the most even.
You know what? Let's start there. Let's start there because I feel like the other two fights are gonna lead to longer conversations. This fight, if we say this one for last, we may not get to it. So let's start off with Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yarde. And I'm gonna start off with making an announcement. I have officially changed my mind. Lyndon Arthur will be winning this fight. How and when, I will not tell y'all. Y'all not gonna cheat off my paper.
So you think you're predicting Arthur, yeah?
Lyndon Arthur is gonna win this fight.
Let's do this. I'm not gonna lie, let's do this. This is the first time me and Jeff's gonna do it. Bro, let's put some money on this.
Okay, listen. Let's do, because I can't put the whole pot up for somebody that gets a perfect prediction. All right, so Shane, $50.
$50, yeah.
$50. I got Lyndon Arthur. You got Anthony.
I got Yarde, bro.
So this is the first.
I'm betting you right now.
So this is the first head-to-head bet on G5 Jeff TV between the panel. I got Lyndon Arthur. He got Anthony Yarde. We got $50 on the line. We got $50.
Can I get a quota of that?
Who you taking?
I like Yarde.
Okay. So I'm betting Vlog a good quarter. And I'm betting Shane 50. So that'll get me a nice steak dinner and a glass of Chardonnay or something Once I win the $75 from these two fools, it's going
Bro,
down.
bro, how much is the steak
It's
dinner?
going down.
How much is the steak dinner? Steak dinner is $75, but where you
Hey
eating
man,
steak?
listen, I'm going off your dime. I'm going to the most expensive steakhouse in the city.
Nigga, $75 for steak.
I'm talking about between the meal and all that. Big shout
Bro,
out
you
to
must be getting
Conrad.
it from Soap Bay, bro.
Hey man, I'm gonna get a 50-ounce steak on y'all. Conrad Boxer, evening, gents. Good to see you back, vlog. Conrad
Very.
in the building. Big shout out to him, man.
Nah, bro. I mean, tell me why you think Arthur's gonna
I'm
win, bro.
I'm glad. I'm glad. You know what? I actually when I was at work, I was able to do some lab work while I was at work because half of the shift I didn't really do nothing. So I was actually able to do some lab work, and I actually went back and watched the actual first fight. So the reason why I changed my mind is because I think Yarde has a window. I think Yarde has a window to get it done, and I think his window is 6. I don't think he's gonna get it done in 6, which means he's gonna lose the fight.
He has a window.
And there's some
He has a
technical, there's
window.
some technical stuff too.
No,
It's some
I
technical
agree.
stuff too.
I agree he has a window, but this is the difference, bro. From what I saw in the first fight, I saw when Yarde stepped on the gas, he only done it once. And when he stepped on the gas, bro, he almost stopped Arthur. So that was enough for me to say, you know what? If this guy steps on the gas this time, he's gonna get him out of there. I am convinced. I am so convinced.
Let me jump in real quick. I equate this fight to what we expect to see from AJ in this Usyk rematch. This is a rematch that's more about what the losing fighter has inside of him. Where is his dog? You understand what I'm saying? So I equate that we will see the dog in Yarde. It's about time to show the fans the dog. It's easy to do when you know you're going to beat up the person in the ring against you. It was harder to do when he just thought it was going to be easy in that first fight. Found out that jab would make everything difficult, and it did. But it's an easy jab to get around. It's not the swiftest jab in the business. So I think if he can get around that jab, he can get a couple combinations home, and one of the money shots will be inside them combinations. And that's why I'm leaning Yarde. I'm thinking it's more of an intestinal fortitude style fight. Like, he know I got to show up and show out. Like, everything is on the line. You understand what I'm talking about? So I'm giving him that mental edge because of that.
Facts. I couldn't agree more. The thing I'm worried about for Yarde is the fact that whilst he's gonna be more aggressive, he's still very, very bad at cutting off the ring. Arthur literally circled one way the whole fight. And if Yarde hasn't corrected that, forget intensity, forget mentality, bro. If you ain't corrected that something very small but makes a big difference, bro, it's gonna be a long night for you.
Shane, I'm glad you said that, bro. I'm glad you said that because
Right.
Anthony Yarde can't cut off the ring. That's number one. Number two, you can't correct that in one training camp. That's number two. Number three, last time I checked, he has a guy named Tunde Ajayi in his corner who I am not too fond of. And number four, that man got beat with one jab and one arm. I like Arthur.
But that's why I
show
said.
me. He going to
But
show
that's
me.
why I said. And we know he does have dog. We've seen him fight and beat up dudes that you're expected to go in there and do that against. So the dog is in him. It's just, can he put the dog in the right position during the fight to make it happen? Because it's got to go KO. I don't see him winning on the cards. I see a stoppage, and I'm thinking with inside 8. I don't know how everybody else doing on the fantasy league. That's y'all business. But I'm thinking inside 8. So I get where y'all both coming from. I just think, it's like contract on the line. You know what I mean? You know how these players show up. It's a contract year. They start putting up triple doubles and all kind of unexpected outputs. So you gotta expect the same thing for Yarde. He's the bag, and he knows it.
Blunt. Who's Makita Coco, Blunt?
That's my wife.
Yeah, she's trashing us in the fantasy league, bro. She is trashing us. Like she is me, you, and Jeff. She's trashing us, bro. She's trashing the whole panel right now.
Bro, I picked her fights, my dude. That's me. What you talking about, bro? I
Why
picked
you
her
ain't got the
fights.
same score as her?
Right?
Cause
You got the same.
I pick for her differently. Cause I pick for her like a casual. I pick for me like this is what I expect from these fighters that I know a little something about. Now, if I'm picking somebody I don't know nothing about, I can't expect that outcome. But I'm expecting things. Why you see my shit look the way it do? But that's because these dudes fucking up, man. There's no way in the world. Kiko, what's dude named Tito Martinez? Kiko Martinez.
Yeah.
That shit like that ain't supposed to happen, bro. So yes,
Bro,
I'm talking about.
me and you, Blunt, are on the same point. I know what you're saying, but it don't make sense. A lot of these fights are just ending ridiculously. Just ridiculous.
Hey man, she is kicking out behind right now. Tell her I don't appreciate that shit. I will be back. Yeah, you know what though, all joking aside, man, this is really it's a difficult fight to call because I could see Yarde winning the fight. For me, it kind of has
Jeff, you brought something up earlier and I didn't get to respond. You spoke about him not being able to cut off the ring.
Mm-hmm.
To me, bro, that is when you watch that fight, that's the only reason why he lost. So if I'm studying tape, which I assume anyone with a C level coach, not even a B level coach, a C level coach, you look at that fight and go, you know what? That's the one area we need to improve. So I'm assuming throughout the whole entire camp, that's what he's been working on. I'm assuming. I hope so. Because watching that fight, that was where he needed to improve.
I don't want to cut you off, Shane. Let me ask you this, Jeff. Do you think the powers that be will allow a fight to be won with just a jab in a rematch? Do you think that you think Arthur could be the bag towards the future, that's what they'll roll with? I'm just asking. Well, I'm talking from my Teofimo Lopez side of the game.
I get you, but to answer, I know you asked Jeff, but I kind of feel like the reason why that kind of doesn't make a difference is because he won it the first time, and the first time was real close. And the reason why I'm saying that's important is because there was a rematch clause, so they could always run it back. But what they didn't want was Yarde taking another loss. They were really trying to, after he lost to Kovalev, Frank Warren was really trying to maneuver Yarde to the world title again. If you think about it, the only reason why Callum Johnson is fighting Joe Smith Jr. is because Yarde lost. If Yarde beat Arthur, Yarde would be fighting Callum Johnson right now. And the reason why I'm saying that he could go into a jab now is because he won it the first time. If you can beat someone who's literally lined up for a title shot on a jab, you can beat someone who's got no prospects moving forward. That's what I think. What do you think, Jeff?
That's a good point. The thing with Yarde, well, Blunt, to answer your question, he has 2 losses under his belt already, and he's still considered the bag. There's not a big difference between taking 2 losses and 3 losses. I think he's going to be a sizable bag, regardless of whether he wins this fight or loses this fight. I think.
No, I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think so.
With Yarde, and what I mean by the bag, I'm talking UK bag. If he loses this fight to Lyndon Arthur and Yarde jumps back in the ring, it's still going to be packed. He's still going to pack the house.
I think there's a chance that if he loses this fight, he might retire.
He's not going to retire.
I actually think he might.
He will change trainers before he retire.
Well, I'm surprised he didn't change trainer. I know he added the trainer, but I'm surprised he didn't change.
Let me contradict you by just saying this. I think he won't retire because at this point in his career, I believe he still owe money. Yeah, so he owes fights. So I don't think he's at the point where he could call it quits and be financially somewhat stable. I ain't gonna say super paid. He ain't on AJ pay scale level, but I think he still owes money. So I wouldn't see a retirement though. So yeah, three losses. He could still get a decent name fight. You know what I mean? Somebody that's trying to make the next title push gotta face him. So I could get that point too.
I mean, I don't know how many fights he has left on his contract. But if you retiring, then all that's voided. To be honest, if he came back, then he can't come back under nobody but the person that he was under the original contract with. But as far as Yarde is concerned, yeah, that's a do or die fight for him. This is a do or die fight for him in the sense of relevance. This is a do or die fight in terms of relevance. And I look at Yarde and it's one of them situations where I'm like, the two things that he needs to do to win this fight, I don't think he's capable of doing it. He needs to cut off the ring. That's number one. I don't think he's capable of doing that. Number two, when you're dealing with a guy that throws a jab as much as Lyndon Arthur, sometimes you have to match him jab for jab. He's not capable of doing that either. And Anthony Yarde, for as athletic as Anthony Yarde is, the footwork, I got a problem with.
Facts.
So it's a lot of technical things with Yarde that's leaning me towards Arthur. I'm not picking Arthur because I think Arthur's that nice. Let me make that clear.
Run through them comments, Jeff. You got quite a bit.
Conrad, I think Arthur will be winning rounds. The Yarde will go all in at some point. He said that is why I got Yarde late. One ref had Yarde 117, 111, so you never know.
That ref was on drugs, but go on.
Yeah. William Gonzalez in the building. What's going on, good brother? Davidian Simmons, what's going on, brother? He said, hey, God bless my boxing brothers. They making history with these bets. They give me belts. I'm not sure who's going to win between Anthony Yarde versus Lyndon Arthur. I'm surprised Yarde can't get back to the title again.
Bro, he needs to win to get back there, bro.
Yeah. William Gonzalez, he's got 2 or 3 more fights left and he's done. I'm assuming he's talking about Yarde.
I mean, if Yarde wins this in impressive fashion, what I would say is the way that they were maneuvering him before he fought Kovalev, that has to be over. He needs to start taking some real big, difficult fights. You know, take on the likes of your bro, I would love to see him fight someone like Jesse Hart. I would love to see him fight someone like Sullivan Barrera, or what's it called? Who did what's it called just fight? What's his name?
Badu Jack would be a good fight.
Badu Jack will be a good fight. I would love.
That's what I was thinking. Badu too. Yeah, because Badu need a decent name. He can't be beating up on the outside top 10 guys and expect to get a title shot just because of his name. You still got to have a statement fight within the division within inside that top 10, I believe. But you know politics of boxing. So Badu probably still could get a title shot because I think he top 3 in most of the sanctioning bodies right now, or at least in the top 8, I would say.
Well, Badu been fighting top 10 guys for the past like 4 years.
Right, he's lost fights though. He lost fights.
No, I'm saying
I'm just talking about who he fought.
Yeah, but I'm talking about top 10 within the new division. You know what I mean? This is a new division. I'm thinking off your name, and you ain't coming off a roll. Like, he ain't been rolling like that. So it's not like he coming into the division with steam, dropping belts or anything of that nature. So he might have to grab a nice name inside a recognizable top 10. You know what I mean? Because I think Yarde's still in a few guys top 10.
I think Badu Jack's gonna be fighting Rocky Fielding.
Yeah, I think L-Dub did say something about that the other day. I was listening to one of his lives and shit. So yeah, that's a possibility. And that's a good fight card.
They were both on the same card. So I mean,
yeah, that's a good fight too. Rocky on a roll.
Yeah, even though he lost to Canelo, but yeah.
Yeah, he 2 fights back, and ain't he 2-0? And since the Canelo loss?
Yeah, he's 2 fights. He's 2 wins, 2 knockout wins.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. That's a nice little comeback, and he's just getting inside. So he's not like high top 10. I think he's mid-range and at the WBO and a couple bodies like that, 6, 7, somewhere like that. So I mean, any of them names, as long as he for the boy, you gotta give me a fight like that. You gotta be fighting somebody else with some steam behind him for me to be like, okay, I need to see him in a title shot.
Even him versus Leader Alvarez, I wouldn't mind.
Hold on, bro. I'm gonna hit y'all right back, bro. I don't know what's going on.
He is officially back.
Man, I'm on the live. They trying to hit me. I'm like, come on, bro. What's wrong with you? My bad.
Yeah, but I was saying even him versus Leader Alvarez, I wouldn't mind seeing.
Blunt is officially back. Officially back, man. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Bottle Jack fighting any of those guys. I think that'd be a good look.
Nah, I meant Yarde.
Yeah, Yarde too.
I mean, in the UK, we got a lot of light heavyweights. Like, light heavyweight is probably the deepest division for British fighters. We got a lot of fighters who can mix it around at that level. And Yarde, personally, I wouldn't mind to see, even though he's gonna beat another British. If he wins on Saturday, he will beat another British fighter. I wouldn't mind seeing him going in there with another one again.
Yeah, I think the winner of this fight gets some a world level fight. Possibly a Jesse Hart, a later Alvarez, something along those lines. I think the winner of this fight gets that. I think the loser of this fight is going to be high Euro level opponents going forward.
I mean, for example, Craig Richards, he just fought Bivol. He lost the fight. He can end up going back and fighting the winner of Lyndon Arthur or Yarde, or the loser or Lyndon Arthur Yarde. You got Dan Aziz still there. You got Joshua Buatsi there, Callum Johnson. You got a lot. You got Callum Smith, who just moved up to 175, and he just made his first fight at 175. There is a lot of dudes at 175 from the UK.
Yeah, it's a lot of activity at 175. That's why I said if Yarde loses his fight, then he still can make a nice amount of bread. It'll just be on the UK level, but he'll still be considered the bag on the UK level. So I think Lyndon Arthur he'll get a fair shake at the end of the day. But it's going to be an interesting fight, man. That's the most intriguing fight out of all of the fights.
I think it's the closest fight as well in terms of picking it.
Yeah, it's close, the closest and the most intriguing to me. Like, I have a lot of question marks for that fight. But William Gonzalez, there's still some good fights for him left, but he need a good performance this fight. I agree. Jack would be a good one. Agreed. Miss those vlog moments. Yeah, vlog be killing me, man. Vlog be killing me. I'm buying him some technical equipment for Christmas. But better believe that. Yeah, this is a toss-up fight, man. This is a toss-up fight. Like I said, I for the people that's listening, I've been going back and forth on this. I actually had Yarde winning the fight up until this afternoon. So it could easily be Yarde. Audi alias TT.
I've seen him before.
Yeah, I've seen him before too, but I ain't seen him in the fantasy league though.
No.
You need to get to G5JeffTV.com, man, and join the Boxing Prediction Fantasy League. Make your picks for the fights this weekend. It's $500 for the winner of the league and the championship belt, and it's free to join, brother. So no excuses. Can't talk shit up in this joint unless you're in that fantasy league. So I need for you to get over there and make that happen.
You think that's gonna stop him 8? You gotta go predict it.
He mean Devin.
Oh, he meant Devin. Yeah.
Yeah, he said Tank to stop JoJo must go in 8. Yeah.
Nah, I
don't see, and I seen the weigh-in. And Shane, you know how I am when it comes down to weigh-ins. JoJo looked more comfortable than Devin. I'm not saying Devin looked weight drained, but what I am saying is Devin might have been on that treadmill maybe about a half hour before it was time for him to weigh in.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
one
have
of them.
surprised.
Yeah. So he looked okay. He didn't look he didn't look
Continue
good.
speaking. I'm
Looked
gonna be
okay.
like, I'm not gonna speak for like 1 minute. I'm gonna put myself on mute for 1 minute.
No problem. No problem. Conrad, my impression is that Devin feels the pressure. He may do something stupid again. Hey, you know what, Conrad? That's a good point, man, because him taking that shot against Linares, let's just be honest, he wasn't the same for the rest of the fight. He was not the same for the rest of the fight because I think he recovered after the next round. After that, I think it happened in the 9th round. I think he recovered after the 10th, and I'm talking about his legs. And he still decided to really, really, really play it safe for the rest of the fight. So that's something that people aren't talking about. Where's Devin Haney's mental at? You know, is he going to be more reluctant to get in there and actually mix it up because he was rocked in his last fight?
I mean, why I find that so interesting is because there was a little exchange with with Kambosos and Devin Haney, and Devin Haney said, "Why do I have to look entertaining for you to fight me?" Which kind of gives me an insight. And then Kambosos said, "You don't have to look entertaining. I'll fight you anyway." It's just he was making him. He's like, cool, but the fact that he brought that up made me think.
It's on his mind. It's on his mind.
Yeah, and it made me think he might potentially be in a. He might not want to be entertaining. He might just want to fight. It's easy, but there's always this cloud around his head, around whether he could fight entertaining, be a little bit more aggressive. So that's something that's.
I remember, Shane, I remember you saying that it was a live, I think it was before we even started the Goodfellas podcast. I remember you saying like him thinking that he can get away from his jab and his movement and not box is going to get him hurt in a fight. And the thing about the Linares fight, he was boxing and he got hurt. He wasn't slugging it out. He was boxing and he got hurt.
But obviously I think that was more he got hit against the runner play because it wasn't like Linares set nothing up. I just feel like a little bit of lapse in concentration, plus it was near the end of the round, so he probably put his guard down. I've seen it happen before.
He put his guard, he shoulder rolled to the wrong side.
No, when I mean he put his guard down, I mean like he wasn't completely focused. Like he took his foot off the gas then. He knows that the round's over, let me just cruise my way through.
Whoa.
And when a fight's so comfortable, it's something that you do see happen.
Yeah, but that's more so like an overall view. I'm talking about at that particular moment. He just got finished throwing a 3-punch combination, and what he tried to do. So let's just say I'm in front of you, right? So he goes boom, 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 and then except for him shoulder rolling and covering here, he covered here and left his whole face open. Like he literally just made a technical mistake. Like I don't think he was slacking or anything like that. I think it was just a lapse. And his face is wide open because I'm like, when you actually watch it, like if you watch it again, bro, and you watch it like in slow motion, the way he was facing Linares, I'm like, why would you even cover your face that way anyway? Because I was like, it's no punch that can get there.
I just feel like, again, it's just something against the runner play. I know a lot of people talk about that moment where he got hurt against Linares. Personally, I don't read a lot into it because it's not like if I'm an opponent, I can't replicate that scenario to then create a situation for myself. So for example, I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm watching let's say I watch Pacquiao versus Furman and I see the fact that Pacquiao drops Furman in transition. You can replicate that and potentially create a knockdown for yourself. Or Fury, for example, he gets caught in transition. You can potentially replicate that and catch him in transition. You can't replicate just that little simulation of him getting caught. You can't replicate that because it was just a perfect punch at the perfect time. I think any other time he sees that punch, he either rolls with it, he catches it, or the punch is just not in range because he's very good at understanding and judging distance. So I don't read into it that much.
Yeah, and Devin helped him out. Devin helped him out. Like I said, he covered the wrong side of his face. Like I like if he covers the right side of his face, like he does 9.9 out of 10, that shot gets blocked. So I do agree with that.
Where we at
Conrad,
in the comments? Yeah,
I got you. My impression
there's
is
an
that
interesting
Devin.
question I wanted to get to.
Okay. My impression is that Devin feels the pressure. He may do something stupid again. That's a possibility. Audi, if Yarde don't beat Arthur, he best retire. It's too much money out there in the UK for him to retire. William Gonzalez, he missed the weigh-in. If you go to Instagram, they have it on Instagram, like the main event. Conrad Boxing, that was junior 5 levels of holding after Linares landed that shot. Conrad, let me touch on that really, really quick. That's why I feel like Conrad, that's why I feel like you have a good point in regards to that in terms of the carryover. Because we didn't see Devin Haney normal after that shot. Like we didn't see him normal after that shot. So I'm interested to see when JoJo puts that pressure on him, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna open up or is he gonna shell up?
It wasn't the pressure that got him fighting like that. It was just one shot that hurt him. It was just a really good single that hurt him.
Yeah, but the thing was that was the closest Linares ever got to him. Yeah, he kept him at a distance the whole fight. JoJo's gonna be in his hip pocket, so it's gonna be interesting to see.
It's not like Devin ever had problems with, and plus JoJo is gonna have to try. I don't agree with that. You said JoJo's gonna be in his hip pocket. No, JoJo's gonna try and be there. He's gonna try to. I don't think he's gonna get as much success as people think getting on the inside because for one, JoJo isn't a person who throws punches to get in. He kind of does the Canelo thing where he waits till his feet are planted, then he throws punches. Devin Haney will just keep spinning it if Devin Haney fights him up.
I was getting ready to say if he fights smart. If you didn't tell me what he said to Cambosis, I would have just agreed with everything you just said. But the fact that he made that statement to Cambosis, it's in his brain, bro. It's in his brain.
It also tells me he's naturally inclined to fight negative because he said, why do I have to fight aggressive? Meaning that naturally I don't want to fight aggressive. So why do I have to? Meaning his natural instinct is to fight a very safety first fight.
Yeah, but it's on his mind though.
No, bro, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just telling you what comes natural to Devin. If things get tough, Devin's gonna be like, you know what, forget it. I don't care how I look. I'm just winning this fight. If things get real tough,
there's gonna be spots in this fight where the safe route is not gonna be an option for him. It's not gonna be an option for him.
Why do you think that?
Because I haven't seen JoJo. I haven't seen one person stop JoJo from getting close and getting his hooks off in his career.
He hasn't fought anyone with the lateral movement skills of Devin Haney, though.
That's true, but again, Devin Haney ain't been in the ring with. I don't think Devin Haney's been in the ring with a JoJo.
Of course not. He hasn't.
He ain't been in the ring with a JoJo. You know what I'm saying? So that's a two-way street. You know what I'm saying?
But just what you look. Do you rate his pressure and his volume over Devin Haney's like lateral movement and his ring?
Well, I mean, of course I will say Devin, but the thing is, Devin has to. This is a situation where I'm like, how long is Devin Haney going to be disciplined? Like that's really the key to the whole fight. How long is he going to be disciplined? If he's going to be disciplined for 12 rounds, then we're not really talking about much. I already said on record, I think if he just boxed and moved, he beats everyone at 135. That's not excluding anyone. I think he beats everyone. You know what I'm saying? If he plays it safe and is just jabbing and moving, like nobody's going to beat him on the cards. But the fact that how he's perceived is in his head a little bit, and I think he's gonna pick some spots where he's gonna throw the safety stuff out the window and he's gonna play JoJo's game. And that's what I'm looking for. I don't think he's gonna be disciplined the whole 12 rounds. I don't think he is, but I don't think it's gonna be because JoJo does something to
But
allow it. I think he's just gonna sit
I don't
down
think
and
JoJo
do
has
it on
the
his own.
single punch power to
Neither does
affect
Devin
him.
though.
No, but JoJo's gonna need that single punch power. Devin doesn't.
Yeah, but the thing about it, Linares is not a big, huge puncher neither. And he definitely got his
No,
attention.
Linares can crack. Linares has always been able to crack.
The old Linares can crack.
Bro, you know power's the last thing to go, bro.
But he's not. His power.
Linares hits harder than JoJo, significantly harder than JoJo.
Yeah, and JoJo's coming up in weight. I understand all that, but with JoJo, here's the thing with JoJo. JoJo was successful against Tevin Farmer. He was successful against Tevin Farmer. You know how I think of Tevin Farmer.
Wait, I'm lying. I am lying. I said JoJo's never been in the ring with anyone with the lateral movement of Devin Haney. That's a lie. Tevin Farmer has better lateral movement than Haney. By far. But Tevin Farmer just don't have no offense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That fight, that's the fight I'm pointing at, because I'm like, there's two things with Haney. Number one, how long is he gonna stay disciplined? And number two, what is he gonna give me outside of that jab? Because as much as Devin Haney has good lateral movement, and I think he has one of the top 5 jabs in the sport. If JoJo finds out, if JoJo finds out that Devin Haney can't hurt him, we're gonna have an interesting fight.
Well, JoJo found out that against Tevin Farmer before he even went into the ring.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. So there's questions on JoJo's end, but there's questions on Devin's end as well. This is an interesting fight. Audi said, "Yeah, my bad. Devin gonna beat JoJo on points. Devin got no pop, but got the skills." I mean, that's how a lot of people are leaning.
If you see it like that, you gotta predict that, bro. Go to g5jeftv.com and predict that. Try and win $500.
Yeah. William Gonzalez, they were toe-to-toe when he got hurt against Linares. He was close. He was close to Linares. My man L Dub, the plug in the building, man, said what's good.
Shut up.
Audi said G5, can Devin or George join Canelo and AJ as cash cows if they meet?
I can answer that.
Is that the question you wanted to ask?
Yeah, that's the
okay. Go ahead.
Devin can't, but George potentially can. The thing with Canelo and AJ, and I'm glad you brought up those examples. Canelo and AJ have a country behind him. They have a countries behind him. Wherever they that Mexican following that Canelo has fighting on those Mexican holidays, it's gonna travel with him regardless who he fights. AJ is the exact same thing. He's gonna sell 90,000, 80,000, 100,000 in the UK. That's just who he is. Devin, I don't see that being him. If you maneuver George Kambosos correctly, that potentially can be him. If you maneuver him correctly, you can put him in a position where he's going in Australia and selling out 30,000, 40,000 in Australia.
Yeah. And I think just to add on to that, and I hate to say this because it's gonna make it seem like I'm like anti-Devin, and I like Devin. I like Devin inside of the ring. I think he's one of the most talented guys in the sport. But when it comes down to like selling tickets and bringing crowds and things like that, star power, I can almost see Devin Haney being a nomad, kind of like Sean Porter. Like you see him in big fights.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad. Not that bad.
No, let me explain though. Let me explain. Can you pick one place on this planet Earth where Sean Porter's going to do any type of numbers and he's the reason?
No.
Can you pick one place on planet Earth where Devin Haney's going to go and actually do some numbers and it's because of him?
But I'll see the difference. Can I see the one difference?
I can't get a yes or no out of that.
No, you're right. No, I can't.
Okay,
I can't.
go
I
ahead.
don't live in America, bro, so I can't make a fair judgment.
Okay, go
But
ahead.
what I would say though, bro, is the difference is one thing we know is Eddie Hearn is very, very, very good at picking the right fights at the right times that's gonna sell. Yes, Andrade isn't a seller, but he put them in places where they've never had a fight before. So people are just gonna turn up because there's never been a fight. Like the last 2 fights that Andrade's had, he's put them in places where they haven't had a fight in 30 years. So they sold it out. So I'm not saying that's gonna make him a seller. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that with the right promotion, you can manipulate the numbers. I'm not saying he's gonna be a big seller. I'm saying you can potentially manipulate the numbers. I could be wrong.
So, in your example, right? Let's just say they do that. So take your example with Andre. They put him in a place that ain't had a fight in 30 years. I think if me and Vlog fought in that same place, we probably did the same damn numbers.
Yeah, facts.
So he's actually getting numbers because they haven't had a fight in 30 years. It's not the fact that it's Andre.
I know, but do you see how people can potentially manipulate it? I'm not saying it's that this is something with substance. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying numbers can be manipulated. That's what I'm saying. I'm definitely, bro. I know Devin Haney's not a draw. I'm not saying that. But the way Sean Porter's career has been maneuvered, I don't feel like they've done anything to potentially try and boost it.
I think, bro, to be honest with you, bro, like I don't agree with Floyd being the promoter of many fighters. But I think if Devin was under Floyd, I think Devin would be in a better spot in terms of potential star power. But let me explain why though. Because if anybody's gonna convince people to be accepting of Devin Haney's style, it would be Floyd. It would be Floyd.
I get that. I get that. Where I would disagree though is because what you don't want is Devin's style against those dudes that Floyd will be putting him up against. Because Floyd don't put none of his fighters in 50-50s or even 60-40s or even 65-35s. Maybe not even 80-20s.
Let me counter that.
Go ahead.
He's done that exact same thing with Tank.
But Tank's an exciting fighter.
Tank is an exciting fighter, but a lot of Tank's attention is because he's attached to Floyd. So it's a combination of both. If Tank was under Eddie Hearn, Tank wouldn't be as big of a name.
Oh, that's a fact. I'm not. My point is, I feel like it's a hard sell because, cool, he's under Floyd. That might have got him in their initial attention, but once they went there, bro, this dude can actually fight. This dude's getting knockouts. That's what has. So, bro, we know, we talk about this all the time. You got the pulling power, and then you got the staying power. What keeps the people in the seats? You can get them to the seats, but what keeps them in the seats? Those knockouts keep them in the seats. Floyd can have 50,000 people watch Devin Haney fight an absolute bum. But guess what? That fight, bro, was eventually people gonna be like, I ain't watching that dude anymore.
I'm gonna make this last comment, and then I actually want to get Vlog's opinion on this. Now, you know, Broner tried to pattern his whole career after Floyd, and I'm talking in the ring, out the ring, the undefeated record, things like that. Floyd could have went through that same marketing process with Haney and probably would have been more successful because he'd had a better product inside of the ring. I feel like for him to get like that star power that he really wants, if I had to guess out of anybody in the sport that could get him there, it probably would be Floyd.
I get that. I agree. And before Blunt goes, bro, AB is the worst example you could bring up because AB is probably the best self-promoter that's ever come out of America in
But
the
it
last
can't.
25 years.
But Shane, he's the best self promoter. But the template was a Floyd template though.
Nah, bro. Nah,
No,
that's an AB template, bro.
no, that vlog
In
can
terms of
you
his
correct him?
personal, in terms of his personality, I would rather, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Personality-wise, AB is way more entertaining than Floyd. Not inside the ring. I'm talking about this dude is entertaining. Like at a press conference and at like weigh-ins and shit. This dude is entertaining. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna cap. This dude made me wake up at 5 a.m. to watch him throw no punches against Mikey Garcia. Just because I thought he was going, I believed him. I believed him. I believed him. I don't know why.
There's
But
a
he's
small
that
part
good.
of you that believe him now, Shane. You be
Nah,
fronting on
nah, nah.
camera. You be fronting on
Nah,
camera.
bro. Nah,
Shane is a
never
big
again.
AB fan.
He's entertaining, but I'm not a fan.
Now,
Go,
what
blood.
you
Sorry to
asking
cut
me,
you off.
bro? What you asking
What's
me?
that?
What you asking me?
In regards to Devin Haney, in terms of his star power, do you think he'll ever be like a big star in the sport?
He's already a big star in the sport. They've
As in a,
already
as in
did the IG numbers. Once they do your IG numbers, you're set on the level of popularities. Far from what I heard, that's the latest I heard. I don't know. I'm not in the Twitter realm like that of popularity, but the way these youngsters seem to be is about how many followers you got. So, I think he's a star though, bro. His style, he got charisma. He come from a decent lineage. You know what I'm saying? So. All of those good positive things. You don't hear no negative stuff about him. You don't hear nothing negative outside he talk trash like most of these young fighters do.
How much tickets did
What'd
he
you say?
sell for this fight? How much tickets did he sell for this fight?
I don't know.
That's outside of my scope, bro. You know what I mean? I don't know about that, but I believe
that's
he's
how
popular.
you tell if someone's a star. It's free to follow someone on Instagram, bro. Ain't free to spend.
I'm just telling you, but you're from this era and you're not acknowledging that as a means of income, as a means of draw, of being able to negotiate a certain amount.
Because it's not. You know what? The reason why I say
I'm not saying you're right or wrong.
You know why I say it's not, bro? Because I watched it, and I'm sorry to bring this dude's name up. This dude has lost so many fights, but every time he fights, he's a pay-per-view attraction, and he has hardly any followers on Instagram, and that's Derek Chisora. You know why? Because he puts bums on seats. Every time he goes, he's selling 25,000, 35,000. That's the difference. That's cash money. I don't care how much Instagram followers you got, because that's not paying me no money. When you put 35,000 people in a stadium, that's making me money. Bro, Grant, I'm gonna ask you a question. Would you rather 35,000 followers or $35,000? Oh, you can't answer that question yourself.
That goes without saying, family, but what I'm trying to tell you is you're not taking the social media pull and savvy that it has for these youngsters to negotiate the bag for themselves. Trust me, from what I'm understanding, he about to get more than what Teofimo got just to lose his belts recently. So if that's not the bag, then you know what I mean, that's more than unified or supposedly recognized undisputed champ. So, question that if you want to for what is. But what I'm saying is, if he's getting paid more for this one belt fight, and this dude just lost 3 belts, there you weighing your popularity and who's earning more dollars and who's the bag. He is a bag in his own right, bro. Y'all talking that knockout shit, but we don't usually see that at this lightweight realm. We don't see a bunch of power punches. We see good boxers in the 135s, 140s, 147s. If you get some KOs in there, that's a beautiful thing, on some Roy type of shit. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, bro, I think he's the bag already. I think he don't need to do too much more. Stay in his lane. Don't ever try to do too much. Don't oversell yourself. You understand what I'm talking about? So, and like I said, he's not the type of dude that gets in trouble outside the ring. Is he flossy? You know what I mean? All these youngsters flossy. We know what that is. So, yeah, dig. I'm just saying, bro. I think he the bag already. I'm about to spend some money and watch him. So,
a vlog. You ain't been in here in a while, man. So I'm bring you back in slowly. I'm gonna do a little case study real quick. Um, the zone makes a lot of people the bag. They pay a lot of people a lot of good
Overpay.
bread.
They overpay.
They overpay a lot of guys. So with that being said, is that a clear indication of Devin selling power? I don't think so, because to be honest with you, Tevin Farmer was making
Hella money.
he was making hella money. Um, the one thing I will say about the social media thing, and this is just to kind of bring context to what both of you guys were saying, is take a guy like Ryan Garcia, right? So he has a certain amount of followers. We've seen those followers translate to in-ring numbers in terms of his fights, and we're talking about the gate, and the place being packed. So we've seen the direct result of him having his followers actually come to the arena, right? Tiafimo has a good amount of followers, but his followers don't come to the arena. Like if they came to the arena, they would have had that fight at the Madison Square Garden, not the small room. They wouldn't have had it at the Hulu Theater, which is the small Madison Square Garden. You take Devin Haney. Devin Haney has social media numbers. Yes, he does. But does that equal those people actually coming to the seats to see him fight? That's yet to be determined. So, vlog, to your point, that's what we have to find out. Does his followers actually come to the fights and sit their ass down? I'll give you another example. Um, Jake Paul. Jake Paul has a lot of pulling power because of the amount of people that he has on his social media. But we know for a fact that those people are coming to the arena and they gonna spend that bag. Now, him and Sean Porter is in the same place, right? They're both from Ohio.
hold on. Let me say this. Let me argue with you a little bit on that one, bro. Okay. When his popularity has grown, it's been through what we know has been a tape filled situation. A lot of flimflammery, a lot of you can't do this, you can go here, this type of thing. So these young fighters have grown just because of what's happened to the world. We ain't gonna get into all the politics of it, and we gonna just leave what it is. All intelligent people know what I'm talking about. So in a way, we still, like you said, you're already kind of answering the question too. We still waiting to see what the turnover is going to be like, because they're really just starting to allow people to kind of congregate in decent sized numbers where you can really tell what the earnings is. When you doing pay-per-views the way Tank is, that's a different way than streaming. So I mean, I guess they would have to put the I guess in the Zan situation, they want to put the money out there first and see if it comes back. With Tank, the product's already out there, so the money's going to follow the product. So it's a different situation, you know what I mean? But I don't think they overpaid the people that they got. I don't think they did. I think they did their money right. They don't got a roster. They just their problem. They don't got a who's who roster.
When you look at it from that aspect, the zone's in a position where they have to overpay because they're in the minority when it comes down to getting fighters. So in that aspect, I definitely agree. Let me get this one comment out here, and then I'll jump in the comments. But like Jake Paul and Sean Porter are from the same place. We all know in a perfect world, Sean Porter has done so much in his career, and he's just a stand-up dude, that he's the one that should be getting the sellout numbers. He's the one that should be the bag. He's the one that deserves the bag, right? But because Jake Paul has all of these social media followers, and he has they're willing to spend the money on a Jake Paul type. He actually sold more numbers in one night than Sean Porter has sold in his own hometown in his career. So it goes to show that there's different levels of how the social media numbers equate to actual butts and seats and dollars.
Yeah, bro, but it's easy to be a gimmick, bro. That's a gimmick, you know what I mean? And people follow the general masses, the sheep, and we ain't talking to none of the real ones. Excuse the killers in the yard, but I'm gonna still shoot my spill anyway. Like I said, he's bringing the outsiders to the table. We talking about a boxer bringing in hardcore boxing fans along with some casuals, and these youngsters are doing that. So if he's getting on the trend of what real boxers are doing, then he's a coattailer and he's gonna always be an outsider. And I just suggest we not even bring him on the show again.
A vlog. The majority of the social media followers are casuals. The majority of them are. And the majority of the people that buy pay-per-views and put the butts in seats, the casuals are the ones that put the numbers over the top. The hardcores is in the minority. You see what I'm saying? They're in the minority.
But yeah, Jeff, run for these comments, bro. It's gonna get a little
Just
bit
a different
over
group of outsiders is what I mean. Just a different group of casuals.
I feel you. No, I agree with that. It's a different group. I do agree with that. My man Padman McGriff in the building said, "Let's go, champ." Look at him, y'all. What's going on, bro? Second Ezra getting hit with a good punch is a part of boxing. Absolutely. But the mental game is a part of boxing as well, man. Like you got to pay attention to how a guy responds to shots as well. Davidian Jerry Forrest definitely beat Michael Hunter. That was definitely not no draw. Jerry Forrest made Michael Hunter look like a chipmunk. A Davidian, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch the fight, man. I did not see the fight, but that is definitely Vlog's guy. That is definitely Vlog's guy. I won't put his old comment out there in the streets, but we know why that's Vlog's guy. We're gonna leave it there though. Audi said Devin is saying, why do I have to do what you say or want? I control my own way. Devin said JoJo is his toughest test.
I don't need to say it. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows it, right? Second Ezra, JoJo isn't the puncher like Linares. Linares got more crack than JoJo, no doubt. Audi said yes, UK if he meets and beats Kambosos.
UK, what does he mean by UK?
He said it has to be in the UK.
Kambosos ain't from the UK. Why would it be in the UK?
Know, yeah, I kind of worked around that. I knew what he meant. Like Kambosos, oh yeah, he means Australia. In my opinion, if Devin was under Mayweather, he'd do less than Tank. It's clear Mayweather don't want smoke for Tank. Eddie would do better promo. I think Eddie would do better promo, but like making people believe in Devin's style. That's why I think Floyd would come in. Blaze Philly 215, what's going on, good brother? I sent you your $42. So Shane debt is completely clear. Second Ezra, welcome back, vlog. Conrad Boxing, I'm buying AB fights to this day. Shane buying them too. He frauding right now. He definitely would never buy it.
Bro, you know that
Shane,
that's a lie.
Shane waking up 4 a.m. to see AB.
That is a lie, bro.
Jamie Leroy, big shout out to you, bro. He said I never miss a Del Boy press conference. That's funny. Followers don't necessarily equal to ticket sales and pay-per-view buys, but I get what get your spell check together, brother. And pay-per-view buys, but I get what he means. Yo, he typed that joint in when he seen that $42 and his fingers got messed up.
He sound like, bro, I don't know. He sound like he got special needs right now, bro.
He said sorry for the typos, man. We hear you, bro. Conrad Chisora has some of the best Instagram posts of all boxers. That's a fact. Conrad, remember the weird chicken memes he made for the first Parker fight? Yeah, they were hilarious. They were hilarious. Blaze said, but I don't totally agree that followers make someone a superstar. Yeah, it's a case by case basis. In some ways I definitely see what Vlog is talking about. Jamie said Joyce versus Dillian. That's a fight I'd like to see. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see. I just want to see Dillian get a shot though. I would love to see Dillian get a shot. Conrad, my point is depends on who follows you. Boxing fans or just people who like your looks or whatever. DM3 Entertainment, what's good, fam? What's going on, family? I ain't seen you in a while. What's going on with you? Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What do you rather see? And I'm asking you both. And I have to ask Jeff this question first. Would you rather see Kambosos fight Tank or Kambosos fight Devin Haney?
Can I ask for another element of the question? Where's the fight going to be?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather see Kambosos Tank, but I want to see Kambosos get a home game.
Are you drunk, bro? This is why.
Why would I be drunk?
This guy.
Because I know. Hold on, a vlog.
This guy
is
tripping, bro.
Vlog. Let me tell you what Shane getting ready to say because I know him so well.
Bro.
He's gonna say that he rather see Kambosos and Devin Haney because Devin Haney's a WBC champion.
Yeah, because it's undisputed.
Shane, who did Devin Haney beat for the belt? Listen, Devin Haney, listen, Devin Haney, hold on, Shane. Devin Haney was in the living room with me and Vlog. We was all smoking and drinking. And Mauricio Suleiman hit him up on his Gmail account and told him he was the WBC champion of the world. That's how it happened.
Bro, the reason why Jeff's saying this is because from the start, and Jeff's got many videos saying this, he does not recognize Devin Haney as the champion. He does not recognize him. And he said it from the jump. He said it. So I can't even begrudge him. But in my opinion, just to remove all doubt, I want to see undisputed. Jeff already thinks Kambosos is undisputed.
How is it undisputed, Shane?
Because it's Devin Haney's got the WBC.
How did he earn it, Shane?
I don't know. It's funny.
Yo, it's okay to come across the street, brother. It's okay,
bro. I can't justify the WBC's decision. I can't justify. I can't justify.
And I'm on drugs. I'm on drugs though.
But bro, you know it's not undisputed, bro.
Bro,
theoretically, in theory, it's not undisputed. In theory,
right? But even with that being said, Tank is the better style matchup. Regardless,
bro, I want to see undisputed.
I don't see no undisputed.
Guy,
Kambosos. It's going to be an undisputed fight, regardless of who Kambosos fight, because I think Kambosos is undisputed.
Fair enough, bro.
Go ahead, Vlog.
I don't even remember what the original question was, but just listening to y'all two, I'm back laughing inside very hard.
Repeat your question, Shane. Repeat the question.
I said, would you rather see Tank Davis versus Kambosos or Devin versus Kambosos?
Devin.
Why?
I think he's earned a shot. You know what I mean? They ain't give him the belt for no reason. They gave him a belt to run him into this sort of situation. And he saw the unification and he saw the undisputed sort of situation. So, you know what I mean? They
the belt vlog.
But Jeff,
they mailed it to him. They mailed it to him. They UPS the belt. I got it. I get you, Jeff.
But Jeff, this is what you don't have to understand though. If that's the case, how else does Devin Haney get a title shot? He deserves a title shot at least because he worked his way into a mandatory position. So therefore, he's mandatory for Kambosos. So that's the fight I want to see.
Right, but you're twisting your question though. You said which one would I rather see. You didn't ask me which one deserves it more. Devin Haney deserves it more because he's fighting a better competition. That's a different question.
Yeah, it's a
Devin
different
Haney,
question.
yeah, Devin Haney deserves the shot more than Tank. But me personally, my boxing eyeballs would rather see Tank and Kambosos
The
because I
truth
think it's
is,
a better style
the
matchup.
truth is, everybody won their belts in the ring other than Devin Haney. So I can't argue with Jeff when he says he's not undisputed. I can't argue when he says Kambosos is already undisputed because in theory, Loma won the WBC in the ring. Yes, he didn't fight his mandatory, but Loma's not the only one to not fight his mandatory and still keep his belt. We've seen that numerous times in boxing, bro, where WBC champions haven't fought their mandatories and they still keep their strap. Look at Gary Russell Jr., for example. This dude ain't fought in 1,000 years and he still kept his belt. So
But I
Kambosos,
can point out who
no, I'm agreeing with you.
I
This is
can
me
point out
saying
when
it in
Gary
agreement.
Russell won that belt though.
No, this is me agreeing with you. That's why, because the dude said, "Oh, because Loma didn't fight him." But my point is,
quick question,
many
Jeff.
people.
Quick question. No credit for defending it.
Defending what?
The belt that he didn't earn. No,
But
he's
you have to
defended it
earn it
since
to
he's
defend.
gotten it.
You have to win it to defend it.
I'm
You have to
just
win it
saying
to
they
defend
gave
it.
it to him to defend it. Has he done that? That's all I'm asking. No credit for that.
I'm giving him credit because he's getting victories.
But in response to DM3, bro, just because Loma didn't want to fight him doesn't mean that Devin Haney should automatically become champion. That's where
Correct.
Jeff's trying to say. Jeff's trying to say, yes, he worked his way into a mandatory position, but just because you're mandatory doesn't mean that you deserve the title. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Like,
and
White's mandatory. He's never had a title shot before. Are they just going to give him the belt? No.
Yeah, this is no, as much as I joke around about this is no knock against Haney. This is a WBC problem. I'm like, whoever's the champion, whether it's a vacant strap or you actually beat the champion for it, I would like to see the belt actually won inside the ring. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Let me run through these real quick. Conrad said Kambosos versus Tank 100% for me. Haney beats him. DM3, yes, let's get this undisputed out of the way. Jamie Leroy Kambosos will get KO'd by Tank and schooled by Haney. That would be
just so upsetting. Kambosos is getting no love right now, but
he said that's not Devin's fault. It's not. That's because Loma wouldn't fight him. But the thing is, I understood that too, though.
But since when do you have to be in the wrong to not get rewarded? The truth is, bro, it's not his fault, but it's just the harsh realities of boxing. It's not his fault, but that's how boxing goes.
And Loma did the right thing as well because he ditched the Haney fight to go undisputed. So Loma did the right thing as well. So he was just in an unfortunate spot. Just for me, he just should have been kept the mandatory. Like he just shouldn't have been giving a Gmail belt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Conrad Campbell Tank would do really nice numbers. That should do hella numbers. Conrad Campbell Haney, I am not sure. DM3 plus you can never be undisputed if there's a dispute, and the dispute is Devin has a belt. It doesn't matter how he got it.
He does the reason again. I'm just defending Jeff on this one because this is why I can't argue with Jeff when he says it, even though there is a kind of dispute. The reason why I can't argue is because Kambosos, or if you check the lineage of the belt, Loma had that belt first. Devin Haney only has a belt that is less value. It's like a WBC silver and a WBC gold, or a WBA regular and a WBA super. It's like he has a belt, but his belt isn't worth more than what Kambosos has because Kambosos actually won it in the ring. There's a lineage. Yeah. There's a lineage to Kambosos' belt. There's a lineage. There's a direct lineage.
It's a paper trail. It's a
Yeah,
paper trail to Kambosos' belt. There's not a paper trail to what
bro, there is
Devin
a
Haney
paper
has.
trail. There is a paper trail because he got sent it
Yeah,
by paper.
email. Yeah. When you said he mailed it to him, vlog, that's what you said. He mailed it to
Bro,
him.
he
First
literally got it in
class.
the post. Nah,
Yeah.
bro, he didn't even get a first class stamp, bro. He's one of them
Oh
ones.
man.
5 to 14 working days, bro.
Man, damn, Shane. God damn. Second Ezra, Devin didn't win the WBC belt in the ring, but with a phone ring. That's funny. DM3, the franchise belt is a made-up belt and is not supposed to be transferable, so that's the fake belt.
But the belt that Devin Haney has is the belt that Loma won in the ring.
Yeah.
Loma won that belt in the ring.
So technically, if you want to look at it that way, when Loma got beat, then that's Tiafimo's belt, which is now Kambosos' belt. You want
That's
to
the
look at it
lineage.
that way, right?
That's the lineage.
That's the paper trail. Adrian, what's going on, bro? He said, "Good to see Vlog back on, man." I told you, Vlog was gonna get some love when he get back in here.
And the truth is, bro, and this is me being honest. The truth is, Loma shouldn't have had to fight, because if you actually look at it, Loma should have had to fight Devin Haney straight away anyway. For one reason, undisputed trumps mandatory. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, Loma won a vacant belt. Loma won a vacant belt by being a mandatory. Do you guys not remember when the WBC ordered Anthony Crolla versus Lomachenko? And even though Lomachenko had a belt for in another division, they ordered that fight, which is basically why Eddie Hearn just asked them to order Andrade versus Charlo, in the sense that basically the same thing happened there, where the WBC ordered a champion from another weight class to be a mandatory, another governing body to be a mandatory for their belt. So that's basically how we won it. So if he won a belt by being a mandatory, why do I have to fight a mandatory straight away after? That's the point.
Yeah, I blame the WBC for all that nonsense. I really do.
And Devin Haney didn't win the final eliminator. He won an eliminator, and the person he was going to fight in the final eliminator didn't end up being in the fight. And that's how we got it, because he was supposed to fight Luke Campbell. But at the end of the day, he didn't even win a final eliminator neither. So you kind of can make an argument that he didn't earn his right to even be in that position.
Yeah. DM3 is similar to Mike Tyson when he was supposed to fight Lennox Lewis and he threw the belts in the trash. That was Bo.
That's Riddick Bowe.
Yeah, Conrad on point. He said Riddick Bowe. Yeah, that's Riddick Bowe, bro. He said, but I get your point. DM3, so I get your point. If Devin would have fought somebody for the belt, then y'all saying the belt would have been valid. Well,
or at least fight a final for the interim title or something. He didn't even fight that. He fought Abdullayev and Gamboa. None of those dudes were anywhere near ranked at the number one or interim at the time. And all of a sudden he became franchise champion.
Yeah.
Kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. But that's the WBC doing what the WBC do. And it puts Devin Haney in a bad spot, because then you got guys like me talking about how he actually received this belt. When he's deserving of a shot, no doubt about it. He is deserving of a shot, especially if he beats JoJo. If he beats JoJo, he's deserving of a shot, like point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's going to be an interesting fight tomorrow.
We didn't even get into Tank.
Yeah, we can get into that right now, man. Tank Davis against Isaac Cruz Gonzalez, which is going down on a Sunday. So I actually want to segue my man Vlog on this one. How do you feel about the pay-per-view being on a Sunday, bro?
I'm excited, first of all, because it's going to be back-to-back boxing pay-per-views on my birthday. So the big 5-0, y'all tap into the live. We're going to be set up. The fellas going to set the stream up, do all that link shit. They know how to do that shit. But it's going to be on my channel. So y'all tap into the little fight party I'm going to have for myself. You dig? But yeah, man, I'm feeling real good about it, bro, because it's new. It's different. And it ain't going to be like mad late either. You know what I mean? Time is going to be perfect. All the little football games going to be over with. You know what I mean? We had talked about that off camera. So, you know what I mean? I just think it is smart. And that's what they do over there at Mayweather Promotions. They're really smart, you know. Elegant boys.
What
You
I
know,
will say is, Blunt, we're gonna be on live on your channel, but everybody has to go to g5jeftv.com and make their predictions for that fight. Cause we just added that fight, so
Just
some
added
people
it.
might have made their predictions for the other ones and not this one. This fight is on the website as well. $500 up for grabs. Right now, I need to make as
Absolutely.
much points as possible. I know I'm gonna make a lot of points, a hell of a lot of points on the Arthur and Yarde fight. But everybody's gonna pick Tank by a knockout, which is unfortunate. Is there any way where Isaac Cruz can win?
Yes. He's gonna need chin insurance, like my man Greg Hackett said. Big shout out to Greg Hackett. He's definitely gonna need chin insurance. I guess in a fantasy world, if Isak Cruz Gonzalez can take Tank's money shot, then he could win on points because,
He's
like we
gonna
said,
outwork
Shane,
him.
he's gonna outwork Tank. But Tank is really that simple. Like his fights are really that simple. Like, can you handle the money shot?
I got a
Can you
question for
handle the
both of
money
you.
shot?
I got a question for both of you. Is Tank gonna get the same leverage and the and power punching down, even though his punch mechanisms is punching up? He always punches up.
bro, dude is the perfect height to be a factor, and he's also the perfect height to be a victim. He's just not too short. If he was a little shorter, I could see your point, Shane. But if you looked at the tail of the tape and the toe to toe face, he right there to still be in that finish range of punching leverage and angle. And the way Tank those shots, dude is still a perfect height. But he's also the perfect height to be a factor in close, outworking Tank, pushing Tank back. Because he ain't no slouch when it comes to physical stature, even though everybody looks at him as a little man. I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't want to see him in a dark alley. So that's just my point about that. But like I said, he's a perfect height factor and a perfect height to be a victim.
The only reason why I said that, Blunt, is because Tank isn't used to punching down. So I just brought that up just as a curiosity. Like, is it a case of could it potentially be a factor where he's now having to generate power from the top half instead of transitioning it through his body?
I think I mean their height difference is only an inch. I actually think the uppercut is gonna be the knockout shot for Tank. Because watching Isak Cruz Gonzalez, I mean, he's a sitting duck for an uppercut. He's a sitting duck for an uppercut. Now, whether it's going to be a straight uppercut or it's going to be like a 45 shot, that's something different. But yeah, it's a legit question, Shane. It's a legit question.
I'm just really trying to present an argument to make it a balanced debate, because anybody can just say Tank's gonna win, and I picked Tank to win by knockout as well. But I'm just saying there is a factor in this fight that we've never seen before. That is a factor that we've never seen. Tank's normally the shortest fight. I didn't know we could find a fighter shorter than Tank. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't think that was possible. Like, that dude is. I know girls taller than Tank.
My nephew might be taller than Tank. He only 5.
If you measure them dudes out, like, I mean, they perfect to fight each other. Like I said, you think Tank's punching down when Tank can shoulder punch. So if he just throwing his natural hooks, and we've seen him square up, this is where old boy's size and his ability can get Tank in trouble. Because if Tank square up and eat a lot of shots, he could find an angle where he might see the canvas. You know what I mean? That maybe not off of power per se, because Pitbull, the bulldog looking dude is not a power puncher like that. He's a volume puncher. He's gonna throw an 8-punch combination, and probably that 6th punch going to be the one that hurts you. So it's an interesting fight. It's not gonna be no cakewalk. I expect a Mario style fight. I expect dude to bring it He gonna bring it because you know the lap fighters, they got a lot of heart. They ain't no pushovers. So, and Tank just got to do what Tank do.
Jeff Leonard's in the building, by the way.
Sustain. Tank sustain. Keep some momentum. Get some good work in, even in the rounds that he might give away. Get a couple good punches in, land something to the body. He gonna have to land something to the body.
Gotcha. Yeah, I seen it. DM3, I want to ask you all a question. Lenore, I see you, baby. I see you. I want to ask you all a question. Who do you think will win, Tank or Devin?
That's a 50-50 fight.
I got Tank.
That's a 50-50 fight. That is the one fight that Devin Haney will be able to get.
I got Devin.
I was gonna say that's the one fight Devin Haney would be able to get away with. Even if he fought negative, people wouldn't care because Tank is that dude where it doesn't matter. If you fight negative the whole fight, just as long as you get through to 12. I actually might be slightly leaning towards Devin. I don't like a fight who just looks for a single.
Fair enough. Adrian, if there's VADA testing for the Tank and Cruz fight, because that's the only way Cruz beats Tank.
Oh, he's insinuating that Tank's on the juice.
Or Cruz need to be on the juice. That's what it sounds like.
No, he said if there's VADA testing for Tank and Cruz, because that's the only way Cruz can beat Tank. As in, that's the only way Cruz can beat Tank.
Yeah, that's basically what he's saying.
If there is VADA testing.
No, no, he's saying Cruz need to be on the juices.
He said if there's VADA testing for the fight, that's the only way.
It's a typo. Shane, it's a typo. It's a typo.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm just reading the title, the comment literal, based on what he wrote.
Gotcha. Said what up, 5. Lenore Thomas, what's going on? Let me know your availability. Because we're not gonna be on here too much longer, but we'll definitely let you close out with us. Second Ezra, Tank TKO's Pitbull in 2 rounds.
Whoa, you know what you have to do, Second Ezra? Go to G5JeffTV.com and predict
5. Yeah, man, he about my nephew height, man. He only 5 years old, man. Conrad Boxing agreed with Vlog. Conrad, he will break him down and stop him, but won't be a cakewalk. Conrad, after the stanky leg, I got Tank. Said misspelled. Jeff was correct. He said, "Damn, LOL again." Nah, just if you want to, just let me know if you want to get in. I'll send you the link.
Let us know like what is the perfect time, because what I realize is since like watching it, people kind of jump in an hour or about 35-40 minutes after we've already been on live. Are you guys not getting the notifications, and this is something consistent? So I'm wondering if you guys are not getting the notifications, or it's better an hour later. If the lives are better if we start it at 11:30 instead of 10:30. Let us know what time.
Yeah,
we don't know. We don't really. I just noticed that people just be jumping on like 35-40 minutes into the live, and I don't know if you guys are not getting the notifications, or let us know what the issue is, or if you guys are just jumping in late because
just doing other stuff. That's a case study. You know what I'm saying? He said, yeah, drop that link. I'm just gonna drop it in the chat. Nah, man, not later, please. Okay, just keep it around the same time. Got business in the morning. Facts. Adrian, well, I was busy today. Usually I'm on time. For me, 6 is good.
Where the hell do you live? Are you East Coast, West Coast, Mexico?
I think Adrian might be East Coast.
So that's 30 minutes in.
Yeah. But that's usually how I go. Like it's usually like 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes in. People start really jumping in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know what Conrad's saying, because if we started it later and we were on live for 3 hours, there's a chance that I could be going to sleep at 2:30.
Yeah. And we gotta accommodate UK family as well.
Not really.
Yo, vlog, you sound like you killing bees right now, yeah.
Literally.
That
Bro, we
ain't me.
sound
It is.
nigga, nah, that's you, bro. You sound like an old TV. You sound like Red Fox's TV. You know, in Sanford and Son, where Fred Sapp was always watching TV. You sound like Red Fox's TV, bro.
Oh man, I wasn't expecting that, yo. I wasn't expecting that. Adrian, East Coast to be specific, Jersey. Yo, he right around the corner.
He's right around the corner from Jeff.
Yeah. Conrad, yeah. We got the link in the chat, so my man Leonard Thomas will probably be joining us in just a second. So is there, how many rounds do y'all think? Is there any way Eastside Cruz can last 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the fight going now.
9. I'm not gonna lie. I actually think if that fight goes 9, Tank might lose.
The later the fight goes, the better in favor is going to be for Tank.
My man Leonard Thomas in the building, man. What's going on, good brother?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Everything cool, man. Listen, we on Tank and Eastside Cruz right now. We gonna give you the floor, good brother.
Wait, have you made your
man,
prediction?
It's been a while. Just so much happened since like the last time I've been on, man. It's been like
it's been a minute.
But man, but the Tank and Eastside Cruz thing. So you guys didn't talk about Devin Haney and what's Jojo Diaz?
You want to go there first?
But yeah.
It's your call.
Hey, give me one. Yeah, okay. Give me 1 second. If it goes, I'm in the elevator right quick. So just give me like a minute or two because.
Okay, go ahead.
Cool, but as I was saying, I think the later the fight goes, the better it is for Cruz, because
yeah.
The reason why I say that is because 1, he's gonna outwork him. 2, Tank's gas tank is nowhere near as good as Cruz's. So as it gets later, Tank will slow down. And 3, Tank is gonna lose a lot of rounds if it goes 9 rounds, because that means he would have taken Tank's money shot. If it's gone that long, that means he would have taken Tank's money shot, which means Tank would have been getting outworked for most rounds. This dude throws like 1,000 punches around. Like this dude, it's ridiculous how much. There's no way Tank could keep up with that. After 9 rounds, Tank will be gassed, absolutely spent. Trust me. And he's coming down from 140 as well. Trust me. There's no way if that goes 9 rounds. I think Cruz is winning that fight.
I guess the thing for me is I just don't see Cruz actually handling that power long term. If Tank is active, that's the key. If Tank is landing a single here and there but ain't really doing shit in the rounds, it could get interesting. But if Cruz is getting hit with 4 or 5 money shots around, he's not going to be lasting.
He ain't lasting 9 rounds, bro.
Yeah,
I don't even think he's gonna last 5. I don't think he's gonna last 5.
Because Cruz is as active as Cruz is. He's literally in your face saying, "Hit me."
Of course, bro. He's gonna get knocked out in 4 or 5 rounds.
He's literally in your face like.
I was just entertaining the hypothetical that Blunt's saying it's going 9 rounds, and I'm saying if it goes that long, that means I'll be favoring over. Or if it went 12, I'm picking Cruz. But I don't think he's going 12 because I think Tank's gonna land that money shot early and clean this dude up quick. You know what Tank can do to make this real easy? What's that?
Land a couple body shots. He ain't got to land a lot of them. Just a couple.
I said that earlier, but I say 9 because.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
When you talking about these being short, he's got his range, but the way that
can y'all hear me?
Yeah, hold on a second, Lenore. Yo, your buzz is crazy.
Literally,
Am
bro.
I buzzing?
No,
No,
that's
you're
blog
cool.
buzzing.
It's blunt.
Hold on, I'm gonna put this comment up here. Second Ezra said vlog sounds like he communicating with aliens. I agree
Literally, bro.
100%. I agree 100%. Padman said Tank is going to counter those wild outside around the corner hooks. Watch Shane.
No, I believe that.
I
I
believe
believe
that.
he's gonna knock him out. I was just entertaining the hypothetical. But go
Yeah.
ahead, man.
Hey, Lennar, where you want to because we can double back. Where you actually want to start off at?
Okay. So I wanted to start off with the Teofimo and Cambosis fight
Oh wow.
first, and then I wanted to get to the Haney fight, and then I was gonna get to the Cruz fight.
Okay.
So basically, man, it was crazy, man. I did not expect Tio to lose that fight, and I would have been okay with a draw because at first because I thought I thought Tio may have won the 12th, but I looked back and it was more of a swing round, but I probably would have swung it upon second look. I swung it more towards George and I did Haney than Tio, so I'm perfectly fine with the decision. That he edged them out. And then, so yeah, I mean, I was crazy. Then it was just funny because Tio's post fight press conference, man, was hilarious. Man, it was hilarious.
I mean,
Hello?
the fact that the dude didn't want a rematch told me that he already felt that he lost.
Yeah. Well, I think about it though. I don't think because he doesn't want to. I think he can't make the weight, man. I think he really can't make the weight.
Hey, Lennar,
Ah,
listen
bro.
to this, bro.
Huh?
He made weight with sweatpants on. Like I don't think that was his problem. In this fight, I think he had no respect for Cambosis going into the fight. And Lennar, we got inside information. I don't think you heard the episode, but we got inside information. I can actually talk to you off camera about it. But he had no regard. The respect he showed Loma is that he didn't show Cambosis that same respect, and it got him in trouble.
So you don't think that he's like a little weight drained? You don't think that he's weight drained a little bit?
I think he's big for the weight. Don't get me wrong. I think he's big for the weight, but there's other issues.
Yeah, but the thing about it, Lenore, is I've seen fighters who look weight drained. Watching that fight, did you get the impression that he was weight drained? Look how he started that fight.
I kind of thought he was. I kind of thought he was because he got tired during the second half. You could tell he
gets tired in every fight. He gets tired in every single fight.
He didn't really get tired with the Loma fight. He was just getting beat up. But I mean, towards the second half of that fight, bro, it wasn't kind of like
his punch output reduced drastically in that Loma fight. From round 8 onwards, his punch output literally went from a certain amount.
That's because Loma really put the heat on him, and he was beating him up. As far as getting tired, as far as getting tired, like huffing and puffing, I didn't see as much. I mean, I'm not trying to make any. I'm not trying to make any excuse for Tio. He lost, but it's just that it was,
he got tired in the Nakatani fight, and I also feel like you have to look at the fact that against Loma, he wasn't loading up, bro. In the Cambosis fight, this dude was putting 100 miles an hour on every single punch. He was just loading up on so much punches. So obviously, he's gonna get tired. To me, I didn't look at that fight and think, "Oh, this dude's weight trained." I'll give you an example of where a fighter looked just completely. In fact, I can't even give you that example. You probably didn't even watch that fight. Let me think of a fight where a dude's been weight trained. Like he literally just couldn't make. Okay, I'll give you an example. Every time AB fights, and he fights at when AB fought Mikey Garcia, when I looked at that fight, I thought that is a weight drain fight. That is a fight who literally can't make weight because he literally couldn't do nothing in the ring because the whole camp was a fact. Teofimo Lopez fought like he actually made weight pretty easy because he went out there with just so much intensity. If you were weight drained, you will feel it in the ring. Trust me. I didn't get that impression.
But let me ask you this though. I don't think he's gonna have another fight at 135. I think he moves up to 140 now.
Yeah, he can move up.
I don't think he can kick another fight.
He can move up there, but he's gonna have less success at 140 than he has at 135.
True. But at the same time, you know, he arguably has bigger money fights with Tank. And well, no, never mind, because he also have Ryan at 135 and stuff. But he also has big money fights with Tank and Josh
Tank
Taylor. If
fights,
Josh Taylor decides to stay down, and
Tank
so I
fights
mean,
at 130. Tank fights at 135, 140, or wherever it makes sense. That Tank fight will never happen because of the whole Bob Arum situation. But the Josh Taylor fight, I don't think they take that fight next. I'm being dead serious. You
oh no,
don't go
not
for the.
next. No, not next. Not next. I didn't. No, not
I
next.
mean, I hope they don't take that fight next because that's suicide.
And so with the Devin Haney and the who's he fighting? JoJo. I'm forgetting, brain fart. Devin Haney and JoJo Diaz fight. Bro, this fight is going to be a lot closer than what people think. And I love Haney. Haney's one of my favorite up-and-coming fighters and stuff. But it's going to be a lot closer because, and one of the main reasons why, one, because JoJo Diaz really does. I mean, you saw what he did to Tevin Farmer, that slick style. He made Tevin Farmer, like, hesitate. He broke his rhythm. Tevin Farmer couldn't beat Tevin Farmer in there.
Good
You know what
point.
I'm saying?
Good point.
And that's what you couldn't beat Tevin Farmer. You saw Tevin Farmer was like, brawling was the wrong style. That's because JoJo Diaz made him fight his fight with that pressure and broke his rhythm. So with that being said, and the only thing that scares me about Devin Haney is he has no power. So how he's going to be able to keep JoJo Diaz honest when his power is so? You know, he was able to keep Linares off of him for the first half of that fight, but then Linares kind of came off a little stronger during the second half. So how's it going to translate against JoJo Diaz? That's my thing that scares me the most is how is Haney gonna? Hopefully he has enough pop to keep him off of him. But with that being said, I do expect Haney to win. I just think that he's gonna have some rough spots in there. I think he's gonna be able to win on points. So that. So I do think it's gonna be like a UD or something, maybe a split, but a UD. I think Haney wins. Don't get me wrong, because he's so highly skilled over JoJo that he's gonna win most of the rounds boxing. But the only problem is that Haney doesn't have. I mean, his power can be kind of questionable at times at 135. If he's gonna go against, go ahead.
Hey, Lenore, I wanted to actually kind of highlight one thing that you said in regards to the Farmer fight. The main thing that you said is that he broke Farmer's rhythm, which made Farmer keep his hands in his pocket. Exactly. That's the main thing that I'm looking for in this fight. Can JoJo break Haney's rhythm? And I think I hear you with the power thing, but JoJo's not really cracking like that neither, for him to feel like he got to really put something on JoJo to keep him off of him. He keeps JoJo off of him strictly by boxing and moving. He can keep him off of him just off of that alone.
I was about to say that because he's gonna have to. Whilst what you're saying is true, you also got to remember he's got to do something to get Devin Haney from stop moving. Let's say Devin Haney decides to just
I'm not saying that JoJo. I'm not saying JoJo hits like George Foreman like that. But who you think would win a firefight, Devin or JoJo?
But you got to get Devin Haney. You got to get Devin Haney in a firefight first. You got to get him in a firefight.
Yeah, no, I see. I think I probably would favor JoJo in a firefight. You know,
I mean,
so that's.
I would. I potentially would, but I don't see how over a sustained period of time he can get Devin in a firefight. I don't think he can.
What I'm saying is this. Even though I don't think it'll go down like this, what I'm saying is just because of two things, right? If JoJo's going to be able to help break Devin's rhythm, right, and put that pressure on him. Number one, make Devin fight his fight. Number one, and number two, the power being questionable. It may, and I'm not saying it's going to, but I can see this kind of almost like a resemblance of the Sean Porter and Paulie Malignaggi fight. But Paulie Malignaggi not having enough power, number one, and Sean Porter breaking Malignaggi's rhythm and make fight his fight. I'm not saying it's going to go down like that, but what I'm saying is stylistically, it can, you know what I'm saying?
I get
you never know.
I get you, but the biggest difference with that was Sean Porter had faster feet than Paulie Malignaggi. That is not the occasion.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
True. That's true.
Devin Haney has significantly faster feet. Like when you're gonna see, he has significantly faster feet than JoJo. Now I will say this:
Agreed.
Kevin Farmer had significantly faster feet than JoJo as well, but he still was able to bring him into a firefight. The reason why though is because Tevin realized that he had to land something to win a round. I give you an example. If you watch Rigondeaux versus Casemiro, Rigondeaux just ran the whole fight and Casemiro couldn't catch him. But because Rigondeaux wasn't landing anything, he ended up still losing. Tevin Farmer was in that same position where he was running, or the first round, he decided to move, but he realized he's not landing any punches. So he ended up having to go and fight JoJo's fight just to land punches. JoJo can fight moving forward, but if Devin Haney just stands behind a stick, a long stick, and box and jab, it's down to JoJo to do something to cut off the ring and quickly transition on the inside and get beyond that jab. Devin Haney's jab is much better than Kevin Farmer.
He's faster, more athletic. He's a better boxer, and that's why I favor him to win, because I think that even with maybe the power slightly lacking, even with Jorge Linares, you can argue he pretty much almost won every round of that fight. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can make an argument. That's why I think that the skill level is so high for Haney. He's going to be able to win on points, right? Win the majority of the rounds. That's why I picked him to win. But what I'm scared for Haney is he can't continue to make this weight at 135. And he's hitting so. When he goes up to 140, and I remember G5 I made this point to you a couple of days ago. When he goes to 140 or even 147, how is his power going to hold up? He's barely keeping these guys off at 135 right now. So how is he going to keep up at 140 and let alone 147? He's going to have to change his style. He's going to have to sit down. He's going to have to sit down on his punches, learn how to get full leverage, like an Earl Spence or something like that. Get full leverage and just sit down on his shots, because he's not. At least at 140, 147, he's got to change his style a little bit, because this little pity pat shit he's doing is not going to work.
But you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised that some fighters' punch power actually does. I'm not saying it's going to be Devin Haney, but some fighters' punch power actually does increase as they move up weight classes. We've seen it a few times in boxing where a dude hasn't been a puncher at a weight class, they move up and all of a sudden they can crack.
Yeah, true, and I mean that could be Haney, maybe because the weight. But look at his arms. Look how skinny. I don't know. Have you guys checked Devin Haney's arms out? Have you seen his arms?
But that doesn't necessarily mean you don't have punch power.
No, yeah, I understand this, because somebody has, like, Deontay Wilder has skinny arms.
But I'll give you an example. Right? I'll give you the best example that there is. Terence Crawford at 140 wasn't knocking dudes out like how he's knocking dudes at 147. He wasn't. True. He fought Postal, he went the distance. He fought Diaz, he went the distance. He fought what's that British dude he fought? What's that guy's name that he fought? What's that guy? He came over to Britain and fought Burns. He fought Ricky Burns, he went the distance. He went the distance with a lot of fights. He moves up to 147 and he knocks everybody out. I'm just giving you, and he got real skinny on his own.
I think that's because of dropping competition, but that's my opinion though. Let's do the drop competition.
Sean Porter has never been stopped before.
Yeah, but in my opinion, that was a premature stoppage. That was no.
Sean Porter has never been dropped twice in a round before.
I understand, but did he not deserve to have a chance to go a third time to see if he was going to make it or not?
But you're still, I get you, I agree, but you're still not acknowledging the fact that Terence Crawford put him on the floor. That's not down to dropping competition.
He put him on the floor. I'm not debating that, but I'm saying Sean Porter deserved at least one more shot. That's all I'm saying, to see what was going to happen. Because again, like you said,
he deserved one more shot. He did deserve one more shot, but I'm saying that his punch power has clearly increased. You said it's down to dropping competition. I think it's just down to him moving up weight class. His punch power has clearly increased moving up to 147. Clearly. Because
I mean, and even with Jose Benavidez, the only reason why he knocked him out was because Jose Benavidez had one leg. Remember, he went to the 12th round with him and almost made it. The only reason why he did not, because his leg was messed up. But if it wasn't for that leg, he would have went 12 rounds with him.
Did Jeff Paul not go 12 rounds with Pacquiao?
You said what?
Did Jeff Horn not go 12 rounds with Pacquiao?
Who?
Jeff Horn. Did Jeff Horn not go?
He did. He did go 12 rounds with Pacquiao.
And did Crawford not stop him?
I understand that, but look. Okay, listen. Styles make fights. Jeff Horn is a very sloppy, uncoordinated guy. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to be rude to him. But he's very uncoordinated. He's very sloppy. Terrence Crawford, that style, he ate Jeff Horn up for breakfast. That's a bad style matchup.
Okay, but
One person that go ahead.
Did you
Huh?
not hurt
I
him
would,
numerous times in that fight?
he did, but I would also favor other heavyweights to knock. Not heavyweights, other welterweights to knock him out too. I would favor Jerron Ennis would knock Jeff Horn out.
We're talking about at that particular time. Pacquiao was arguably one of the hardest hitters at welterweight, and he did not knock him down.
He did not, but that's a stylistic. Okay, let me ask you a question. Who's a greater fighter, Jeff Horn or Manny Pacquiao?
Pacquiao.
Okay, what I'm trying to make my point is just that great fighter lost to Jeff Horn. And the reason that doesn't mean that Jeff Horn's greater than what he is. It's just a stylistic bad matchup. That's all I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but the reason why we're having this debate is because you're saying that you're justifying Crawford's power increase at 147 is down to opponents. And I'm telling you,
partly down to opponents. Partly.
The reason why I can't agree with that is because those opponents have fought fighters who are supposed to be punchers, and Crawford is doing better than those fighters. That's a fact.
I mean, again, in Kell Brook, again, both orbital bones broken. Amir Khan, we know how chinny he is. Again, I'm not saying you might be right. Terrence Crawford power may have been up, but I'm saying you can also make an argument because overall, except Sean Porter, his competition kind of dropped at 147 compared to 140. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that
competition dropped, so the fights were easier, but it doesn't mean that he should be getting knockouts. That he's getting knockouts.
Yes, because if the fight is easier, that means you're hitting the opponent more.
Okay, but the fighters aren't getting knocked out by other fighters at 147. That's my point. They're not getting knocked out by other fighters at 147.
Cavity Ostis got knocked out in up and coming prospect of Virgil Ortiz. It could not even make it to the championship rounds.
In how many rounds? In how many rounds?
And I think it was round 9.
In round 9,
it was round 9. I believe it was round 9. Don't quote me. I believe round 9. So he could not even make it into the championship rounds with a prospect.
And Kavalauskas got knocked out by Crawford in round 9 as well.
I believe round 8 is when he got knocked out.
Okay, so Crawford knocked him out faster than Virgil.
He did, but that's not what you said. My argument is you said that, these guys are not getting knocked out. No, Cavalier got knocked out by
I'm
prospect.
saying my point is very simple. My point is it's not down to the fact that the level of opponent why his punch power has increased. His punch power has increased because he's moved up to 147.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that he would be able to knock Jerron Ennis out or knock Earl Spence if he's fully healthy? We think he'd be knocking those guys out, or yes or no?
Do I think he can, or do I think he will? There's a different, question.
Do you think he will? Do you think he will knock?
No,
guys
I don't. I don't think he will. But that doesn't take away my point that his punch power.
Hold on. What's the actual debate?
My point is very simple. Okay. Punch power has increased from 147 to 140, not because of isolated opponents. It's not because of the opponents. He's just personally punching harder at 147 and 140.
So Lenar, what's your
and I said what I said is that it partly is because of partly because of opponents, and it's questionable. We're not exactly sure. He's only, in my opinion, really had one great true test in a Sean Porter. And again, and this is not Terrence Bud Crawford's fault, but again, in my opinion, the stoppage was unnecessary during that time. So it's questionable. That's all I'm saying.
So Lenar, I'm gonna respond to you because I talk to Shane for like hours a day. Because Terrence Crawford's resume is not the strongest, I can actually make an argument that he has a better resume at 47 than he does at 40. More
yeah.
names, more styles, more elements that he had to go through than 140. You can run that. So he's 6-0 with 6 knockouts at 147, Lennar. He's 6-0 with 6 knockouts.
Understood.
So part of Shane's point is correct, because it takes a couple fights for a guy to become a true fighter at that weight. So a guy coming from 140 to 147, right?
Yes.
I would say it probably by his third fight at the weight class, he should be like a full-fledged welterweight. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay,
So,
okay. Let
go
me
ahead,
ask you a
Shane.
question, bro. Let me ask you a
What I'm
question.
saying, what I'm saying is this. What I'm trying to say is that I understand your points, but what I'm saying is just hold on. What's this guy want? Hold on. What's up? Okay, it's gonna be kind of long right now because I'm on the phone. What do you need? Hey, go.
Yeah,
Well,
my point is very simple though. I can't lie. Like, as much as I don't understand. It's very simple. The dude, you can't. I understand. There's been the level of competition has been easier for him, but it doesn't. But why?
easier at 47?
When I'm saying,
I'm sorry, guys. I had to
No, you
move.
good. You
But
good.
go
You
ahead,
good,
go and
bro.
say what you're gonna say. Say what you're gonna
No,
say.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Lennar. Go ahead.
I forgot what was I saying?
No, you said like your point, like your point on the whole situation. Like you said, you understood everything we were saying, and then you was getting ready to go into something.
Okay. Oh, I was saying is that it's questionable. Again, Amir Khan. We know he has no chance. So throw him out of here. We know Amir
Okay.
Khan has no chance. Throw him out of here.
Okay.
Kavaliauskas again got knocked out by a prospect in Virgil Ortiz, and again he did not even make it into the championship rounds. And he was coming off of a win. It wasn't like he was coming off of a knockout loss. Okay, so that's questionable. Jose Benavidez went 12 rounds with him, and the only reason why he knocked him out, in my opinion, is because Jose didn't have his other leg. That's number one. And
Can I
again,
ask you a question, Lena?
hold on. And
Hold on,
Kell
Shane. Hold on,
Brook,
Shane. Go ahead,
Kell
bro.
Brook,
Uh-huh.
both orbital bones broken. And you
Uh-huh.
saw when he hit him with that thing, it almost discombobulated him. Like you can tell, hit him right in his spot in his eye. It was like
Mm-hmm.
you could tell he was like fucked up his eyes basically. And so
Uh-huh.
that's, you know what I'm saying.
Can
And
I ask you a
then
question, Lena?
and then Sean Porter again. Maybe he would have stopped Sean Porter, but then again, we all have that thing now. Where it was like the stoppage gate. Did he really stop Sean Porter, or did his corner just got scared and threw the towel in too early?
Can I ask you a question,
All
Lena?
go ahead.
So when it comes to how many times has Sean Porter been dropped in his career?
He's been dropped by Spence. He's been dropped by Broner, and then I think that is it.
And when he got dropped by Spence, how did he drop?
He got by hook
No, but how did he drop?
with one glove touching the canvas.
His glove touched the canvas.
Yes.
Have you ever seen anybody put Sean Porter down twice in one round?
No, I have not.
Wait, I'm leading to a statement. Have you ever seen anyone force Sean Porter to keep his hands in his pocket, and would drastically reduce Sean Porter's punch output?
Nope.
So that's not down to punch power. That is not down to punch power. I'm assuming that's just down to the fact that it's a lower level opposition.
No, what I'm saying is I can make the argument and say because that's a stylistic matchup, and Terrence Crawford is just beating Sean Porter in a boxing match.
But
You
that
understand
doesn't
what I'm
mean you
saying?
get dropped twice.
He's beating Sean,
That doesn't mean you
huh?
get dropped twice.
But just
That
because
doesn't
he
mean you
got
get
dropped,
dropped twice.
and I love when people say, "Oh, well, Sean Porter got dropped twice." We've never seen him get dropped twice. Okay, fair. If in my opinion, I say if he only got dropped twice like that, the first time ever do, give him another shot to keep on going.
Well,
But he
hey,
still got
Lennar.
dropped twice.
Yeah, hey, Lennar. That's a separate argument, because I had that back and forth with Shane off camera, with that
But
particular topic. But I think that's separate
to
from
how
what
he got
your
on the floor.
argument.
He
Yeah,
got on the floor. He got put
yeah.
on the floor with power.
The thing about it, Lennar, everything that you're saying about what deficiencies his opponents has had at 147 are valid. I'm not even gonna sit up here and say they're not valid. Um, Kell Brook in the eye, Amir Khan
some
in
of
the
the
chin,
chin.
things
Yeah.
like that. Right. So I'm with you on that. With all of that being said, with all of those deficiencies, his top 5 fights are at 147.
Are you
This
talking?
we're talking. So, a Leonard. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. His 140 resume is stamped because he became undisputed.
But
If you actually look at the opponents,
Jeff, even at
But
140,
this is what I'm saying. I'm saying I believe his overall highest greatest win is at 147 with Porter, but it's hard for me to say because we have to understand. Even okay, the fighters he has fought at 147, they're more Hall of Fame fighters than the people he fought at 140. I'll give in 135. I'll give you that. But at the point of their careers when he fought them at, that's what's really, really questionable.
I
I
get
think
I get what you're saying. 1 second, Jeff. 1 second. We're talking about the point of punch power. We're not actually even talking about accomplishments. There is no way I'm actually gonna just say there's no way on earth you can visibly watch Terence Crawford now at 147 and watch the Terence Crawford that I saw fight Felix Diaz or the Terence Crawford that I saw fight Ricky Burns. There's no way you're telling me that he's hitting harder at 140 than he was hitting at 147. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that because
And Shane, I'm not exactly saying you're wrong. You could be totally right, but all I'm saying is there's a question mark. You could make an argument. That's all I'm saying.
I
I'm
don't
not
see
saying
how
you're
you
completely
can.
wrong about
I
that.
don't see how you can. I
no.
honestly
It's
don't see how you can.
Here's the thing, Leonard. If you want to question the 147, that's cool. Only thing I would ask is give me the resume at 140 that trumps his 147.
I think
If that's the route that you want to go.
okay. I think that the 140. If you will let me, I think at 140 and 135, if I can combine them both,
Uh-huh.
it's like nip and tuck with 146. Because again, the only great win that I really hold stock to at 147 is Sean Porter.
Okay.
That's the only one that I really really hold weight to me.
Okay.
But with that being said, if you take 140 and 135, you got the Gamboas, you got the Victor Postals, you got the Julius Ndongos. So I mean, it's kind of hard. And then you can also say, and I think you can also make an argument for Jeff Horn as well, just because Terence Crawford was coming up in weight, facing a champion. So you can also make that argument. But
Right.
other than those two, other than Sean Porter for sure, and maybe a Jeff Horn, that's the only really two ones you can say, because Jose Benavidez hadn't even fought for a title before he fought Terence Crawford. Cavity Austin came out of nowhere. Amir Khan, he's far past his best. Kell Brook had not fought in that weight for years, so I'm not even going to count those guys.
Let me piggyback off of what you said.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Sean Porter, and then we got Jeff Horn.
Possibly Jeff Horn.
Well, the fact that Jeff Horn was a legit champion at the weight, and he was a natural 147 at that time, you can actually make the argument that he was too big for 147.
True.
So I will throw Jeff Horn in there. So let's just take those top two.
Okay.
Let's take the other 4 out.
All right.
So we got Sean Porter and Jeff Horn.
Okay.
Are there 2 fighters combine the 140 and 135? Is there 2 fights or 2 wins that Bud had at 140?
Postal and Gamboa.
So my point is that doesn't trump. Those 2 names don't trump Sean Porter and Jeff Horn.
You can argue they do.
I
mean, you could not
argue that they do.
What I'm saying.
Shane, ain't no way, bro.
I can't.
Ain't no way.
Hold on. I can't. Okay. I mean, listen. I mean, Gamboa, and I mean, when Terence Crawford fought Victor Postol, that was people going into that fight that people were thinking that was kind of a dangerous fight. I mean, let's not act like, you know what I'm saying? And
he was fighting. Both fighters were undefeated when he fought them. Gamboa was undefeated.
That's very true.
Was undefeated.
Yeah, but was Victor Postol a more dangerous fight for Terence Crawford? What was Sean was?
Sean Porter.
Postal. Postal was more dangerous in
No,
my
no, I
opinion.
got the Sean Porter.
Nah, I
Nah,
didn't.
I
Not at the
disagree with that.
time. Not at the time. Not at the
Sean,
time. Not at the
Postal,
time.
Postal.
You're using hindsight to answer
No,
me.
I'm not
Bro,
using hindsight.
so remember at
I'm
that
not using
time,
hindsight. Go ahead.
if you remember at that time,
Mhm.
I'm being dead serious. At the time, I didn't see a hope in hell for Sean Porter. I didn't see a hope in hell in how Sean Porter was going to beat Terence Crawford.
I saw hope in hell. I mean, he was in my opinion. I thought he was up by the time he
You're
got dropped.
you're using hindsight. I said before the fight,
But hey,
No,
Shane,
before.
but
Oh,
even
okay.
during the fight, you had it 4-4 with one maybe.
but
You
bro,
see, you
as I said,
you can make an argument that Sean was winning or you know what I'm saying or down around.
you guys
But
are actually running away from
yeah.
my point. You guys are
What's the
running
point?
away from my point.
What's your point?
Before the fight, which is very simple, before the Crawford and Spence fight, Crawford and Porter fight, and before the Postal and Crawford fight. So don't talk about what happened during the fight, because obviously Crawford won the Postal fight so much easier. But before the fight, I didn't see a hope in hell for how Porter could win. I didn't see one.
So okay, so you didn't see a hope in hell. But you seen a hope in hell for Sean and Spence though.
I saw a hope in hell for Sean and Spence because Crawford's
But
a better fighter than Spence.
That's debatable.
bro, that doesn't make
It's not debatable. It's not
Huh?
debatable.
It's not debatable because Crawford can box. Spence can't
Earl
box.
Spence. Hold on. Okay, this is what I really want to get into. I'm gonna tell you this right now. The person who has better defense is Spence. The person who's better
Are you drunk?
fundamentals. Yeah, I'm 100% sober when I'm saying this. The person who has better fundamentals is Spence. Now, what Crawford has over Spence is he has a better arsenal overall, or more tools in the toolbox. He has a higher ring IQ. He has more
Can I ask
tools
you
in
a
the toolbox.
question?
He's able to,
Can I ask you?
huh?
Can I ask you a question? Who has
Go
better
ahead.
footwork? Who has better footwork?
In the pocket, or are you talking about when they're boxing?
Who has better footwork? Point blank. Period.
It's debatable. I can't really say. It's hard to
Oh
say.
my god,
Bro,
bro!
let me tell. Okay, let me tell you something, Shane.
Name me one thing in terms of
I'm right.
footwork that he does better than Crawford. One thing, just one.
And footwork, okay, he's better in the pocket. He gets hit less in the pocket. He knows when to go in and out of the pocket.
Footwork.
I'm trying to tell you, he goes in and out in the pocket better than Terence Crawford does, not getting hit. That's what I'm talking about. When he's fighting in the pocket, you see he gets hit less than.
What does he do with his? What does he do with his feet?
Spence's defense is underrated. Spence's defense is
What does
underrated.
Spence do with his feet in the pocket? Just tell me, what does Spence do with his
He
feet in the
jumps
pocket?
in and out of your range. He hits you with that jab. He disrupts your rhythm, and then he jumps in and out of the range, so you can't get him. You can't hit him, and when you try to hit him, you hit him on the gloves. He'll shell up.
Hey, Lennar, real quick, what you just described is Spence judging distance.
That's not
And
football.
Spence is
to
one
judge
of
what I'm saying when he's not to cut you guys. I'm sorry, but
no, go, bro.
To judge distance, you're going to have to go in and out. Correct? When I say when he's throwing the jab, right, using his offense and his defense, hopping in and out of the pocket.
Let me ask you a question. In the Sean Porter Spence fight, and I don't know in the Sean Porter Spence fight, how many times did Spence get his right foot or his left foot his right foot on the outside of Sean Porter? How many times did he do that?
I don't. What do you mean by putting his right foot on the outside of Sean Porter?
So basically, if
when you got a southpaw and an orthodox, the number one rule. Any boxing trainer, anybody will tell you.
You mean when he's circling? Oh, I'm sorry. No, Sean Porter. Okay, again, and this is why styles make fights. I got to give Sean credit because what Sean Porter did was jump and use his decently significant speed advantage on Earl Spence. He was jumping, he was hitting from side to side. He was even at times turning Earl Spence Jr. So he came up with a very crafty game plan. Go ahead.
I get what you're saying, but I'm asking you one simple question: how many times did he get his right foot on the outside of Porter's body?
I didn't see it too many times. No.
So I'll give you another example. When Kell Brook fought Sean Porter, fought Spence How many times did he get his right foot on the outside of the orthodox fighter's body?
Listen, it's been a while since I watched that fight, so it's not like that fight is not exactly fresh.
My point is, in terms of Spence's foot placement, it is one of the worst at 147. It is one of the worst.
No, it is. Okay, let me ask you
something.
something.
Hold on. Leonard, hold on real quick. Shane, say that again, because I didn't hear you.
In terms of his foot placement for a southpaw, it is one of the worst foot placement out of all the champions. Errol Spence.
Oh no, that's bullshit, bro. That's bullshit.
That's bullshit. No. Hold on, Shane.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Shane. I was letting both of y'all roll. Shane.
You didn't even let me finish, but go on.
Bro, okay, go ahead, Shane. Go ahead. I'm getting ready to trump you for the third straight day. Go ahead.
You didn't trump me once.
I didn't trump you the last 2 days on Earth.
How did you trump me once?
Go finish. Me. No, finish this one. Finish this one, because maybe you might say something that's gonna stop me from saying what I'm getting ready to say. Go ahead.
As a southpaw, and a lot of people get confused with the fact that this dude cuts off the ring roll. Just because he cuts off the ring well, and the fact that he has very good understanding of distance, which I agree with Leonard, does not mean you have good foot placement. Look where his feet are.
Hold on, Leonard. Let him finish. Leonard, let him finish, bro. Let him finish. Go ahead, Shane.
Look at where his feet is when he's throwing these punches. It's not where they are supposed to be as a southpaw. Naturally, and this is why he doesn't. His backhand ain't that great, and Crawford's backhand is way better even in southpaw, because he doesn't center none of his opponents. Even when he fought any fight he didn't even center Mikey. He didn't even center Mikey.
Hey Shane, hold on, Leonard. Shane, hold on. I have to read a couple comments first, but I'm gonna tell Shane. I'm gonna tell you why you dead wrong, and it ain't gonna take me that long. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Go on.
Davidian, he said the dream Haney is going to outclass Jojo Diaz, and I respect Jojo Diaz, but Devin Haney's speed, boxing IQ, I won't be surprised if he stops him in the later rounds. That could possibly happen. Toshi said Crawford beat Spence. I think me and Shane agree with that. Andre Southgate, big shout out to you, bro. He said, nah, man, Porter always puts on a competitive fight. Disagree with you, Shane. Omar TV said, what's up, G? What's going on, bro?
Fight don't mean I give you a chance to win.
I will touch on that in a second.
Derek Chisora always has a competitive fight. Don't mean I give him a chance to win.
That's fair enough. Andre said Crawford footwork better than Spence, but Spence has good aggression, knows how to jump in and out of the pocket when the fight is heated.
That's because he understands distance. That's not foot placement.
I'm gonna get to that, and I'm gonna shut you straight down with that. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Because no one is responding to my point.
Bro, I let you hold on. I let you finish, and then I said I'm reading the comments, and then I'm gonna shut you down.
Go ahead.
All right. Andre Southgate, Porter is no joke for anybody. Always brings the fight. Andre said that's a lie. He said Spence has good good placement, no doubt. Toshi said, who has the best opponent on their resume, Crawford or Spence? I think it's a good question. So Spence best victory is Porter. And Bud's best victory is Porter. So it's even. It's even. It's the same guy. It's the same guy. Hold on, but Leonard, let me get to Shane real quick, because I got to shut him down real quick.
Okay, you tear him up first. I'm going to get him second.
Okay.
None of you are going to tear me up.
Shane, so what was the two main things that Spence does well?
He cuts off the ring roll.
And what else?
And he gets in and out of distance roll.
You want to know why he's very good at that?
And I know where you're gonna go with this. As a southpaw, he does not have good foot placement. But go on,
bro. So what? Okay, So
what is the rule of a
what's-
southpaw, bro? You're not understanding. What is the rule of a southpaw?
Shane, you know where I'm going with this, and you know I'm right because you wouldn't even let me finish it.
Because you're not going to answer my question.
I'm going to answer it. I'm going to answer it right now. I'm going to answer it right now. The reason why he can get in and out of the pocket, the reason why he judges distance so well, the reason why he cuts off the ring so well is because his foot placement is correct, Shane.
No, it's not.
That's
correct.
right. Yes,
Shane,
it is.
Shane, listen, can I finish? Shane, can I finish? Can I finish? Does Earl Spence not have one of the top 5 jabs in the sport?
Yes, he does.
The reason why he has one of the top 5 jabs in the sport is because his foot is always on the outside of his opponent.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, bro.
No,
yes,
it
is.
It never is.
Bro, give me an example. Give me an example.
Kell Brook, Mikey Garcia, and Sean Porter, he did not do that.
Hold on. The Mikey Garcia fight, bro, that's bullshit. That's bullshit, bro.
Oh, he did it all the damn fight.
Look how many times Mikey was able to circle to his left in that fight. Why was it so easy?
To circle to his left to do what, Shane? To do what?
But he was out of range. He couldn't get in range. He was
Shane, he landed 1 million jabs in that fight. Are you serious? Shane, are we gonna go there? Are we gonna go there tonight?
Oh my gosh,
Shane, are we gonna go there tonight?
Are you actually being? Are you being? Bro,
Shane,
so wait. So are you telling me your foot placement is only for you to land a jab? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me?
He's one of the most efficient offensive fighters in the sport because his foot placement is always there, Shane.
No, because of his size. And he's got a
come on, Shane.
That's bullshit.
Come on, bro.
Because of his size. Okay,
that's bullshit, man.
In fact, let me tell you what a good
southpaw
foot movement is. Good southpaw foot movement is Luis Ortiz and Usyk. That's good southpaw foot movement. He does not do that. Does he do that? Does he do that? Does he do that?
They both have different styles, Shane.
Okay,
they both have, bro.
Hold on.
Hold on. When it comes down to it, who got a better southpaw style between Spence and Ortiz? Spence does. In
terms of foot placement.
Yes. That's what we've been saying the whole time. Yes.
That's what we've been saying the whole time.
You're talking absolute rubbish. You're talking rubbish, bro. You're talking rubbish.
Bro, hold on.
Man, what do you know what? You know what it was? You know what it was?
Lennar, hold on. As a southpaw, where does Spence rank in terms of foot placement? As a southpaw, right now, outside of Usyk, where does he rank? Is he not top 2?
No, because Loma's got better foot placement than him.
Loma has better foot. Hold on, Loma has better foot movement. He doesn't have better foot placement.
He does have better foot, bro. Oh, come on, bro.
Bro,
come
you
on,
are bugging. You are bugging.
Let me give you
an example.
Man,
Shane, this is what we're talking about. You are bugging. You're
bugging.
So
you guys obviously don't know what you're talking about.
No, you are bugging. You are bugging. You are bugging.
Because you don't know what foot placement means.
Bro, listen, Shane, listen to me. Shane, listen to me. Shane, you always know me and you get down to the same point. You know, no matter how far off we get. Listen, Shane, in order for you to be one of the best at judging distance, for you to be one of the best at closing distance, you cannot accomplish that without your foot placement, bro. You cannot. You can ask Padman, ask anybody, bro. Ask anybody, any trainer, anybody.
Okay, after this live, and I want both of you to do it. After this live, you go and tell me and show me a compilation. And you brought up yourself. When this dude, and I want to physically see it, because you guys are just talking and it's verbal. I want to physically see where you see this guy put his right foot on the outside, and he's always on the outside of someone's foot.
His whole career he's been doing it,
bro. Shane, you act like you have to do it. Shane, you act like you only have to do that to have success. What are you talking about?
You have to do that as
you put your foot in. Oh my god.
He's one of the most efficient southpaws in the sport, bro, and it's because of his foot placement.
Bro. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Bugging. So why is he so efficient? Why is he so efficient, Shane? Hold on. Why is he so efficient? Why is he so efficient?
Shane, why do you think he neutralizes? Danny, this is a man coming off a car wreck and over a year, the longest playoff was still able to neutralize Danny Garcia. He would have won every single round had he not got tired in the later rounds. He won every single round to get Mikey Garcia because his fucking foot placement. That's the point. You get in and out of range. You know how to judge distance. On top of that, he has a beautiful jab, which makes it even harder.
Mikey Garcia.
That's
That's
the
not why he
point.
beat Mikey Garcia. Mikey
he said
Garcia
Danny.
threw
He
less
said
than
Danny.
10 punches a round.
He said Danny.
Mikey Garcia threw less than 10 punches a round.
Yeah, but that don't have nothing to do with Spence, though. How many punches did Spence throw and land?
And
Because he had his
landed
foot
those
on the outside
punches.
of Mikey's
He
foot.
landed those punches. Oh my God.
Shane,
You lot are just
Shane.
basically speaking and not actually listening. So
No, Shane, listen.
continue speaking.
Yo, Shane, you are completely contradicting yourself, and that's the
I
point I'm trying to
haven't
get at.
contradicted myself once.
I'm telling you where, bro, I'm going to tell you where you contradicted yourself. You just sat up here on camera and you said he's one of the best at judging distance. You said he's one of the best at closing the gap and cutting the ring off. All I'm telling you from a technical standpoint, you cannot accomplish that and you don't have good foot placement. Ask any trainer that. UK trainer, US trainer, ask any of them.
Yes, you can.
How?
Yes, you
How?
For one, and someone said something in the comments, so I explained how you can do it. And please let me finish when I say this.
Go ahead.
When you are and you have the dimensions that this dude has, you can be in majority of ranges and land your jab because your arms are significantly longer than the person you're fighting. If your arms are significantly longer than the person you're fighting, then majority of the time you're going to be able to land that jab. And
wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get you. Hold on.
Let him finish. Let him finish. Go ahead. Let him finish. Go ahead, Shane. Go ahead.
So because of the fact that he's able to have long arms in the likes of Sean Porter, longer arms in the likes of Mikey Garcia and whoever we were talking about at the time, he had longer arms than Kell Brook and whatever we were talking about. He had longer arms than those dudes. When he's fighting at a distance where they're both at long range, if they're both center, southpaw orthodox, they're both center, I don't have to get my foot on the outside of your foot because I'm going to land it straight down the middle. And he throws very good straight shots and he has very good accuracy with his jab. So he doesn't have to worry about where his foot is placing because guess what? My arms are longer than yours. So therefore, once you stay in the center of the line, I'm going to land my jab.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to squash. Let me squash that right now. Okay, Terrence Crawford. He has even a longer reach than what Errol Spence has. He has a 74-inch reach. That is an extremely long reach for a welterweight. And very 72 is already long. But when you have a 74 inch, that's freakishly long, right?
Okay.
Why was he not able to do that even with Sean Porter? And Sean Porter was lunging in a lot of the time because Terrence Crawford was so long compared to him. Why was Terrence Crawford not able to do the same? Hold on. Why was Terrence Crawford? Hold on. Let me finish.
Let him go.
Why was Terrence Crawford not able to get in and out of the range with Sean Porter? And they were going at times. And then why was he not able to do that?
Can I answer the question?
Go ahead.
The simple question is, when Errol Spence fought Sean Porter and when Terrence Crawford fought Sean Porter, Terrence Crawford was missing with his leading hand. That's why. He was missing with his leading hand. If you watch that fight, he missed so many times with his leading hand, whereas Errol wasn't. Errol wasn't missing with his leading hand. Go watch the fight back. Terrence Crawford missed so many shots with his leading hand. That's why.
You cashing that? Okay. Now, Shane, I want you to... Okay, for sure. Sorry about that. I was talking to somebody. Shane, listen. So, with this being said, when you... Okay, you said... I'm sorry. You said that Terrence Crawford was missing between his leading hand, right?
He was missing with his leading hand, yes.
Okay, and then why do you think he was missing with his leading hand?
The reason why he was missing with his leading hand is because instead of throwing it straight, like how Errol throws his shot straight, he was throwing it slapping. You can watch the fight back, he tried to slap it. And because it was out of wide of a peripheral, it was easy for someone like Sean Porter with good head movement to weave underneath it.
Okay, so Terrence Crawford would have had more success had he thrown more straight punches, correct? With the lead hand?
Throw straight punches, yes, straight punches.
Straight, yes, with the lead hand, correct? With the lead hand, correct? So that creates this. Okay, so then that helps create distance, correct?
With your hands, yes, with your hands.
Yes, okay. So we have Earl Spence, who does the exact same thing, jumping in and out of distance, neutralizing your offense. Does that make
But
sense? That's what we're
I
trying to
agree.
get you to understand.
Wait, Leonard. 100%. When you talk, because I was going to get to this. When you talk about straight shots, Errol Spence is leagues above Terence Crawford in terms of straight shots with your hands. I can't even argue with that because this
And
dude
that's
throws a
why I
lot of
favor
wide
him
shots
to
and
beat
misses.
Terrence Crawford. But
That is
hold
not
on. But
footwork. That is
no,
not foot placement.
I
That
didn't
is not
say
foot
that
placement.
was. But that is another thing. I didn't say that was. But what I'm saying is this, like G5 is saying, in order you have to be able to judge distance perfectly, jumping in and out of the pocket, jumping in and out of somebody's range, having success. Why do you think Danny Garcia couldn't get his shit off with Earl Spence? Because Earl Spence measured him with his jab, number one, as well with his jab, and was
With a
jumping
long
in and
arm,
out of
with the
range.
long
That's
arms that
that.
he has.
Hold on, Shane. What do you use when you jump in and out of range? Are you using your hands or using your feet?
But when you will look at the Danny
Oh no,
Garcia fight,
no,
it
no, no, no,
wasn't.
no,
It
no, no, no,
wasn't.
no, 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 no.
Hey
It
Answer that
Shane,
wasn't.
you
question,
got
Shane.
hey
Answer
Shane,
Yeah,
you
that
gotta
but
question.
answer
Answer that
that, bro.
question.
then let me
No,
answer
you
the
gotta answer that
question
Hold
then.
on,
question. No, no,
Let
no,
me
no.
no,
what
let
are
him
you
answer. Go
doing?
ahead.
Let me answer the
Hold on,
question then.
let him answer that. Let him answer that. Go ahead,
Jesus
Shane.
Christ, like you guys are just not listening. In that situation where you brought up the Danny Garcia fight, it wasn't his feet because he wasn't jumping in. He was using that long extended arm. He didn't have to jump in because
Oh,
Danny didn't sway. Danny didn't sway. When did Danny sway in that fight? Danny
oh
was straight
my
up and down the whole
gosh.
fight.
Hold on. All right, all right,
Danny
all
was
right.
straight up and down the whole fight.
Let
Shane,
me
I
get in
know
the
you don't like
hold
Spence.
on, Lennar.
I
Lennar,
Bro, you
let
can
me get
never
in the
say I don't like
comments.
Spence. Why would you ever
Let
think that
me
I don't like
no,
Spence?
he do like Spence. He do like Spence. Let me get in the comments real
no,
quick.
he
Let me
don't.
get in the
No, he.
comments. Hold
Go
on,
ahead.
No,
fellas.
the
Let
reason
me
why
get in
I
the
do
comments.
is that let me
Go
tell you
ahead.
the difference, bro.
Let him get in the comments, Shane. Hold on. Let him get in the comments.
1 second, 1 second. The reason why I say I do is because this is the difference between me and you. I've literally put my hands up and acknowledged where Spence is better than Crawford. You haven't done that. So that's why you're still lost in this delusion. That's the difference. You haven't acknowledged where one
Well,
person is
I put my
superior
no,
than
you
the other.
haven't. No, you, bro, you're
Did
the
I
same
not just
person that
say,
said that Spence does not win
Yo,
rounds. You said Spence is one of the worst ones to win rounds convincingly. You said that.
I did
So they
not
said
say that.
Spence doesn't know how to win rounds convincingly. Yes, you.
When
You said it in the other live towards the end of the live. You said that
I
Spence is
said,
literally one of the worst fighters when it comes to winning rounds convincingly, which made absolutely no sense. But what?
I don't even,
You're the
if
same
you
guy
can
who said
remember,
that.
I don't even remember saying that. I
hold
swear I
on.
don't even
When
remember saying that.
It's,
who said that?
I don't even remember saying that. I don't
Shane
Shane
remember
said
said that
saying
that?
during
that.
the last live.
I don't
Yes.
remember saying that.
I'm
I
not.
had to play that back. I had to
I
play
don't
that back.
remember
It
saying that.
was toward. It
Hold
was
on,
toward.
fellas.
I tell you, it was the last live towards the end. If you watch it, you can put it up.
Let me
He said that. He
okay.
said it was either. Excuse me. It was either one or two. It was either one stream ago or two streams ago. Because remember we were talking about Sean Porter and how you believe that Sean Porter beat Earl Spence by a point, and I didn't agree with that. But then Shane said in response, he said, "Oh, I believe that Earl Spence is one of the worst fighters that wins rounds convincingly." He said
So
that.
I'm gonna go
I'm not
back to
making
that
this up.
live.
It's either
I'm
two.
gonna go back to that
We
live,
can
and
go
if I
back and
don't
check
It's
hear
it.
towards
that,
the end. It's toward.
okay, I'm gonna go
We
back
can
Okay.
go
to
back
that
and check
live.
it.
Okay.
Can't
Go ahead
remember
and
that
watch it.
live.
Hold on.
Okay. Okay.
Let me get in the comments real quick. Andre Southgate Crawford footwork better than Spence, but Spence has good aggression, knows how to jump in and out of the pocket when the fight is heated. I think I read that one. I read that one too. Hold on a second. Andre said that's a lie. Spence has
You read
good
all of these
placement, no
already.
doubt. Toshi, oh, I read that one too. Hold on. Foot placement is to win rounds, adapt to the fight, to throw punches and control the fight. If you ain't got that, he gets dominated. Omar
That's
Exactly.
not foot
TV.
placement. That is not foot placement,
Exactly.
Buckshot.
Uh,
That is
hold
not what
on,
foot placement is.
hold on a
That is
second.
not what foot placement is.
Omar TV size don't give you shot placement. It's footwork. That's why Floyd was able to land so clean on Canelo.
The
Loma.
difference is size doesn't, but
Let me run through
dimensions
them.
do.
Let me run through it, Shane. Let me run through it. Omar TV, Loma has better angles. G5 is correct. Shane, you can have the right foot inside to land the right hook, like Cotto did to Martinez. Said that's right, G5. Hold on. You dominate distance and cut the ring with footwork. That's it.
You don't
You
have
can
to.
land it.
You don't have to.
You
You don't
can
have
land it.
to.
Hold on a second, Shane. hold on a second. You can land the jab on a bigger opponent with footwork, like Canelo did to the tall ass dude, whatever his name is. He got to be talking about Fielding, or he talking about might be talking about Colin Smith is pretty tall, right?
Well, if a dude just walks to the back of the ropes, then obviously you don't have to use footwork. All you need to do is walk down. That's not a good example, is it?
Shane. I'm gonna run through these, and then I'm gonna shut
the
Shane
reason
down.
Why people are talking so stupid is because Klitschko.
But Shane, you're not letting me run down. I'm trying to run through the comments so I can shut you down, bro. I'm trying to get there.
My questions, but go on. No one answers my questions.
Bro. We'll answer your question. Then you say we stupid or we delusional.
You don't. Because to this point, you still haven't answered my question. But
let me run through the questions. Let me run through the questions. Let me run through them. Better footwork equals better shots. Andre, you have to have good foot placement. When a guy like Porter comes at you full steam ahead, your arms can only do so much. Mostly it's foot placement that allows you to adapt to a guy coming after you. Omar TV, he was missing because Sean was moving his head. Let's not take credit away from Sean.
That's what I just said.
And Danny don't have footwork.
Thank you very much for acknowledging that.
Also, Danny don't set up his shots.
Thank you very much.
Granny Garcia. Okay. All right. So, Lenar, let me go.
So wait. All right. I was gonna say something before you said
okay, anything. Go ahead.
You brought up the fact of someone said size doesn't mean that you're gonna have better shots. I can't even remember the statement. Something about size, because you're bigger doesn't mean you're gonna land on your opponent or something like that. It's your feet that does it. Well, obviously, none of you guys have ever watched someone called Vitaly Klitschko before, because this dude literally stood still and was able to hit everyone with poor foot placement. You want to know why? Because he had longer arms than most of the dudes he was fighting. When you look at Errol Spence, name me a fighter where he's fought someone who has longer arms than him. He doesn't need to get his foot on the right side of the person's body.
I name one for you, Carlos Ocampo. Now, I know he was a bum. But he knocked him out in one round. This is guy.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad that's a nice side note, but that doesn't bring up footwork. My point still remains.
Because when he knocked him out, he got in the pocket and hit him with a body shot. Got inside of his range with his footwork and hit him with a body shot.
Go on, Jeff.
I just listen.
Go on, Jeff.
So I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correct, Shane, since you said we're not answering your questions. You're basically telling me that because Spence is the bigger guy and has longer arms,
and the dimensions
that he has, that he gets off because of that, and it's not because of foot placement.
And the fact that he's ridiculously accurate with his punch,
that's what you're saying. Correct?
That's my statement.
Okay, that's your statement.
Multiplied with the fact that majority, other than Sean Porter, majority of the dudes that he fought, they fight straight down the line, straight down the middle of the line. So he doesn't have to do anything with his feet to even get his shots off.
So I'm gonna run a couple questions by you.
Please.
Them dimensions that you just gave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Name me a couple fighters in boxing history that was able to get away with all of that without foot placement.
Both Klitschko brothers.
Hold on. Let me rephrase it. A non-heavyweight. Go.
Without good foot placement or good footwork or good foot speed.
Same dimensions you said Spence has. Give me another fighter that's able to accomplish the things that Spence has accomplished. Non-heavyweight with those same dimensions, and it didn't involve foot placement.
In terms of winning fights or in terms of knockouts? Because I want to.
No, I'm talking. You can give it to me both ways. You can give it to me both ways. Because you said he has one of the worst foot placements in terms of southpaw.
Yeah, in terms of foot placements, in terms of southpaw.
Right. So I'm asking you. He gets off because of his dimensions and his arm length, and it has nothing to do with his foot placement. I said, who else in boxing has accomplished that and didn't have good foot placement?
Most Mexican fighters.
Name some.
Mexican fighters.
Like
Antonio Margarito.
All Are we really going there, bro?
We
Are we
really
really
going
going there? Are we going there? Are we really going there? You know he's not technical at all. Are we going there?
But are you
We're
talking?
going
You
there
didn't
and
say
Tony
technical,
Margarito.
bro.
Shane, you know how Shane, you know how I get down,
though.
Shane.
You didn't say
No,
technical.
but
You
it,
said success.
Shane. So when I didn't say technical, but you're saying that he has one of the worst foot placements.
Yeah.
That's a technical statement. So I shouldn't have to tell you technical.
Yes.
That's a technical statement, bro.
But obviously, that's my point. If you have poor foot placement, doesn't mean you have poor technique. That's my point. I didn't
Margarito
say
has
he
both,
doesn't have
though.
technique. I said he has poor foot placement.
Okay, give me another name.
But I'm just trying to figure out so many Mexican fighters over the years.
Mhm.
Bro, there's so many fighters. I can literally name so many Mexicans.
So many.
But the truth is, I literally off the dome just can't come up with so many names.
Shane,
the truth is this. Hold on, let me shut this off. The truth is this. Just admit that you're wrong. How about that?
I'm not wrong because I'm not wrong.
Hey,
the truth is
Shane, hey Leonard. So the thing is, Shane and I are probably gonna have this discussion off of camera, which I'm perfectly fine with. That's my brother, so that's just something we're gonna do. The main point that
Wait. Omar TV, I'm glad you put this point up. Thank you very much for putting this point up. I'm so glad you put this point up. Oh my gosh. Let me click this right here. Heavyweights, the Klitsch were fighting big guys that don't have movement. Of course, they are going to land their jab. 1 second. And I just said this, outside of Sean Porter, most of the people, if not every single person that Spencer's fought, does not move off the line. So that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's not true. Chris Algieri moved off. He was a guy who used his feet, and look what happened to him. But he cut off the ring on him. What are you talking about?
Chris Algieri. Okay, let me ask you a question. What stance is Chris Algieri?
Excuse me?
What stance is Chris Algieri?
Listen, I don't remember. I think I don't know if he's a southpaw or orthodox. I do not remember what he is.
No,
what stance is Chris Algieri, Jeff?
You said what style is he?
No,
he's
what stance? Stance.
You said starts?
Yeah, what stance?
Stance.
Oh, orthodox. He's orthodox.
So when Chris Algieri fought, and I'm glad you brought this up. When Chris Algieri fought Spence, how many times? And I'm so glad you brought this up. How many times did Spence get his right foot on the outside of Chris Algieri's body?
But
Can I answer that, please?
Go ahead.
Can I answer that? And Shane, we can get off camera and we can watch this fight together.
Yeah, we can.
Every time Spence got Algieri in trouble, is because he was trying to circle his natural way and he couldn't. You want to know why? Because Spence's right foot was on the outside of his foot. No, exactly. We can watch it. Shane, we can watch it. We can watch it.
You know how I know? Because I watched it recently because Chris Algieri's fighting Conor Benn. And what we did see was when Chris Algieri was trying to circle, he was squaring up. And the reason why he was squaring up
the reason why is because Spence's foot was there.
No, because if you're there, that's how I know you don't know what you're talking about. Because if your foot's there, then you don't square up, you turn side on. That's what you do.
No, Chris Algieri was. I'm talking about Chris Algieri squaring up on Spence.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. If your foot's there, how can I square up if your foot's there? You're gonna turn side on to get out of the angle.
Hey Shane, I'm not saying I wanna give you credit in two different spots. If reach plus footwork is gonna get a lot of shots off. Okay, so we agree on that. Does Spence have good dimensions for 147? Yes, he does.
Does Spence have amazing judgment?
No, he does not. He does not. No. You're overdoing it now, man. He has good dimensions, solid dimensions. That's it. Keep going.
Okay, wait. I wasn't even going to say that. Does Spence have an overwhelmingly good understanding of where his opponent is? Yes. You want to know why? Because he knows where the punch.
And jumping in and out to get your shots off.
Wait. He knows where the punch starts and where the punch ends in terms of where his punch is going to start and where his punch is going to end. And the reason how I know it has nothing to do with foot placement is because even when he's in the pocket, like Lenar says, and his foot is still, he's still getting people at the end of his extension, even at so close range. That is amazing understanding for distance. That is not footwork.
Okay, so I'm gonna take your statement and I'm gonna run with that.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna give you everything you just said. You want to know the reason why I say he's top 2 in terms of foot placement, in terms of southpaws. Even if you want to throw Loma in there, let's just say top 3. You want to know how you can really judge if a person has good foot placement? Is after he gets finished throwing his shots, is he in harm's way afterwards? When it comes down to Spence, bro, listen to me. When it comes down to Spence, right, you can count on one hand how many times he's actually been in trouble in a fight after he's get finished throwing his shots.
Jeff,
that people are out of hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Let him finish.
Hold on, let me finish. Listen. You can name it on one hand. One hand, bro. One hand. He had one fight in his whole career when it took him half of the fight to figure out his distance and his foot placement. That was shown. Every other fight in his career, he has cut people off. He has hunted people down. He has judged distance. He has bounced in and out of the pocket because his foot placement is always better than his opponents.
Jeff, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
What do you always use as a criticism for Spence? What do you always use for criticism for Spence? Which is why your last point is invalid.
I don't know.
Him and it's something that him and Golovkin do. What do you always say?
I really don't know. What do I say?
He's probably
Do you not always say that Spence waits for you to finish punching before he gets his attack off? Do you not always say that, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay.
He does reset.
So my point is, how many times, I'm not saying he doesn't do it, so don't misconstrue my words, but majority of the time, is he not punching dudes at the end of their combination?
No, he's doing it at the end and towards the beginning.
In terms of that comment, go ahead.
In terms of that,
you want to add to that? Okay.
No, I was going to say
in terms of that comment, I always say, yeah, I throw, you throw, you throw, I throw. So yeah, it'll be a lot of times he's not throwing with a guy. So which actually leads to my point.
No, but it actually contradicts your point. The reason why I'm saying that is because
hold on, Lenar. Go ahead, Shane.
The reason why I'm saying it contradicts your point is because you just personally said he's never in the position to get countered. The reason why is because he doesn't throw with people. He waits until they're finishing throwing, and then he will fall back.
Yes. Okay. So
but
I'll
Shane,
take that.
That does not take away from. That doesn't take away from the point. Just because you wait for somebody to throw to cover up, that means you're on defense, meaning jumping in and out. For example, you and me throw together. I may wait when you throw to cover up and not trade with you and jump back and hit you with a shot. Same thing. That does not.
Okay, I'm glad you brought
the fact that he has good. That does not negate the fact that somebody having good foot placement or not good foot placement. Now, if you say the head movement, that's a different discussion. That is a whole different discussion. But we're just talking about placing your feet, getting your offense off, and moving out of the other person's offense and getting on your defense, stuff like that. That's a different argument than head movement.
Lenar, boxing isn't linear. Boxing isn't forward and back. Boxing is also sideways and circling. You know that, right?
Yes, I do completely understand that.
So how much times do you see someone like Errol Spence, who's a southpaw, so he should do it pretty regularly, circle the dude or pivot the dude on his front leg? If that was the case, based on what you just said, I'm going to wait for you to finish and then I'm going to let my shots off. That means you should be pivoting in the center of the ring or circling your opponent. How much time do you do that with foot placement?
So can I ask you a question? So you're saying in order for him to be a successful boxer... Can I
actually address that? Can I address this question?
Go ahead.
Now, you said pivoting and circling, right?
With foot placement, yeah.
Pivoting and circling with foot placement. that goes completely against your point.
No,
Because you just hold on. That goes completely against your point. Because you just sat up here and told us that he gets his shots off because he got the longer arms and dimensions. So
no.
why is hold on, listen. So why is he pivoting and circling if he got
The
those
only
dimensions?
reason why I brought up the pivoting and circling is because Lenar, it was in response. I'm not saying
Okay.
he should do it. I was
Okay.
saying because Lenar was saying, I'm going to wait for your shots to get off, and then I'm going to
Okay.
use my foot placement. So
Understood.
my point is,
Understood.
if
Okay.
that's the case, you
Okay.
don't use foot placement to go back and forward. Use foot placement to go side to side to get your shots off. That's
So
foot placement.
okay, so we're in agreement that he shouldn't be
That's
pivoting and
not
circling
true.
with his
No, I'm
dimensions,
saying
right?
he shouldn't. He shouldn't
That's
be. He
Okay.
shouldn't
Okay.
be. But if you're in the
no.
pocket,
That
if you're
if
in the
that
pocket. Well, the easiest way for you to get out of range and get your shots off in the pocket. Let's disregard the fact that Errol Spence has longer arms, because that's why I say he shouldn't pivot. But the easiest way for you to get your shots off in the pocket and make your opponent miss while staying in the pocket and allowing you to get your shots off is circling and pivoting. That's the easiest way to do it. If you think it's
hold on and to counteract that argument, to give you a counterattack to that argument, please understand that if the man Earl Spence is not doing that and he's still having success, then what does that mean? So that means he's
because he
having
doesn't
success with what he's
need to
doing,
do that.
correct? No,
He
no,
doesn't
no.
need to
Oh
do that
my.
because
So no. Hold on. So you're saying no. So you're saying the only way for you to have a good foot movement is if you're circling. Is that what you're saying?
no. If you listen to what I just said,
Exactly.
the only
I'm
reason why I
asking you a question.
said that,
That's why I was asking you a question, Shane. That's why I was asking you a question. That's my
the
point.
only the
So
only
you
reason
said
why I
no. You
said
said
that,
no,
the
correct?
only reason why
No.
I said that was in response to your point of he does this to get miss and get in and out of shots. And my point is, if you're using foot placement to get in and out of shots, is side to side, not up and down. That's what my point was. That's what my
No,
point
I
was.
didn't say up and down. I'm saying in and out movement.
In and out
Placing
is
your
up and
foot
down.
in and
In and
out.
out is
No, it's
in.
not
Okay,
up and down is straight up and down. That means your
when I mean
body is
up and
rigid.
down,
So you're
okay.
straight
When
up
I
and
mean,
down.
sorry. No, you're right. You're right. When I mean up and down, I'm actually talking about in front of me right now. So I mean linear. So you're going forward and back. That is, but if you're using foot placement if you're going forward and back in and out of shots, to
Shane.
me, that's not good foot placement because you're always going against the run of play. So that means when someone
Now, do
attacks.
you see what he said, G5? He said to me. To me. He didn't say, oh no, he said to me, that's not good foot placement. My argument is this, Shane. Is just because somebody may not exactly circle does not mean they don't have good foot placement. There's other ways to have good foot placement. Jumping in and out of distance, cutting off the ring, etc. That's our point.
He cuts
Are we
off the
saying that his
ring.
footwork are we saying that his footwork is the most versatile footwork I've ever seen? No. But what he does is excellent because he gets the job done. That's the
He
point. That's
gets
when
the
we say
job
he has
done.
good foot
I don't
placement.
think he gets the job down to footwork. I think he gets
I,
the
Of
job
course you
down
don't, because you're a
down to
hater.
I, hey
Of
no.
course
Shane,
you're
Bro,
a
how can
can
you
I
ever
ask
say I'm a hater?
Shane?
You actually don't. The fact that you
Shane,
said
You're
I'm
can
a
a
I?
hater
hater.
is
Shane, can
such
I?
a
You're a hater.
naive
You're a
way of
hater.
Let me
thinking.
ask you.
I'm a
Shane,
hater.
let
I
me
am a
ask you a
hater. That
question.
is the dumbest thing you could think. That's the dumbest thing you could think.
Shane, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
So in terms, okay, so you said Spence is one of the worst in terms of foot placement. Um, and you have your technical reasons. I have my technical reasons. Can you give me your top 5 in terms of guys in the sport who have the best foot placement, in your opinion?
Foot placement, not
Yes,
foot movement.
your definition of foot placement. Yes,
My
foot
my
placement.
definition of foot placement.
Your definition of foot placement. Yes. What's your top 5?
My my top 5 is Usyk,
Okay.
Loma, Dimitri Bivol. Uh, there's so many people I can think of, but I want to put it in the right rank.
And it got to be in the right rank. I just want to kind of get an idea. It don't even have to be a rank.
Don't have to be a rank.
No, it don't have to be a rank. I just want an idea.
Okay. Maris Bradis.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say he's in my top 5, but he's got real good foot placement.
Okay.
And I would have said Voltic, but he doesn't fight anymore.
We can go with them 4. You
We
ain't
can.
got
I
better than
know
4.
there's some. I can say. In fact, let me just give you in fact, someone who I think has real good foot placement. We'll go with someone like Devin Haney. Real good foot placement. Devin Haney.
Okay. So,
Okay.
all right. So you gave me. Okay. So you gave me Usyk. You gave me Loma. You gave me Haney. You gave me
Brady.
Bradis, and
Yeah.
you gave me Bivol.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Devin Haney, Devin Haney does a lot of in and out. His jab makes him efficient.
He does a lot of pivoting as well.
He does a lot of pivoting, which kind of falls outside of the lines of outside of foot placement. I think you can pivot and be even with your opponent in terms of footwork. And I'm talking in terms of being on a straight line.
No. That's a fact. That is
being
a
along,
fact.
being along on a
Which
straight line with your opponent. You don't have to
That's a fact.
necessarily be
That's a fact.
on the
No, that's a fact.
outside in order to
But
pivot. Okay,
he does circle well. He does circle well as well.
he does circle well. But the reason I would put Spence ahead of him in regards of foot placement, number one, it's partially his style. They have 2
I was
different
gonna say
styles.
style wise.
Yeah, they have 2 different styles. But the reason why I would,
Do you want me to put a front foot fighter in there that will make it easier for you? A front foot
you
fighter in there.
can, if you want,
So
you can.
so let me think. Let me think of a real good
Well,
front foot
you got front foot fighters in your 5 in your 5
Yeah,
that you
I
gave.
do have front foot fighters.
Yeah, I get to it. I get to it.
Yeah.
I get to it. So with Devin Haney, right? So their styles are different. So because the fact that Spence is a southpaw, right? Yes, he has the long arms. Yes, he has the
Oh,
dimensions.
another person,
Go
Anui.
ahead.
Or Anui. Go on.
Anui. Okay. All right. So with Spence, because of his dimensions and because of his arm length, this is the reason why I think he has better foot placement than Devin Haney. Out of all of the names that you gave me, Spence is actually the least athletic out of all 5 of them. Can we agree on that? He's the least athletic out of all 5. So
Okay.
it was
pound for pound.
Wait,
Loma.
wait. Are you talking about maybe Anui can be an argument that who's listed between those 2? But fine, I'll give you that. Let's not even make an argument. He's definitely on the lower end of athleticism compared to the other ones you named.
Right.
Correct.
So out of all of the names that you gave me, he's the least athletic out of the 5. In my personal opinion.
Arguably,
But he's definitely on the lower half. He's on the lower half.
Let's just go
definitely on the lower end. He's definitely on the lower end.
Lennar, we can agree with that. He's definitely on the lower end.
I mean, it's on the lower end. Yes, it's
on the lower end.
Toss up between him and Anui. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so he's on the lower end of the 5. Devin Haney gets to the places he needs to be, not only because of the pivoting, and he's real fast. He's real fast, right? So Spence doesn't have that luxury. You know what I'm saying? He don't have that luxury. And then with him having the long arms, right? If you notice, Spence he almost never overshoots his guy. He almost never overshoots his guy.
Never.
A lot of times, and I want to make this technical point clear. Now, foot placement. Now, as far as a southpaw, if he's fighting a orthodox fighter, at the very least, he has to be on a straight line, footwork wise. He has to be on a straight line.
At least
on a straight line. So when I say that Spence has really good foot placement, even if he doesn't have his foot, completely on the outside, you almost never see Spence foot on the inside of his opponent. So I want to make that clear because I know
Can
Lenore, you're pretty technical.
Can you repeat that? You say you almost never see what?
Yeah,
I didn't hear you.
You almost never see Spence. Let me go back.
Oh no. You know what? That's a good point. That is a very good point.
I didn't hear what he said. Can you repeat that?
Okay, I got you, bro. So when a southpaw is fighting an orthodox fighter, right, and we're saying that Spence is on the lower half in terms of athleticism. What I said is that for a southpaw, if his foot is not completely on the outside of the orthodox guy's foot, he has to, at least at the bare minimum, be on a straight line with the orthodox fighter in terms of his foot placement. So what I mean by that, Lenore, is when he fought Danny Garcia, right? And this to make it real simple, their toes should be touching.
Exactly.
The top of their shoes should be touching. That means that they're even. So if Spence is even, that gives him the option to get his foot on the outside. He's not at a disadvantage. Okay, so that's what I mean by that.
Yes.
All right. So the reason I say that he's better, he has better foot placement than Devin Haney is for that reason, because he doesn't have the athletic ability. He doesn't have the speed.
I get your point. And can I say this?
Go ahead.
Do you believe, and I'll ask you both, do you believe there's a difference? Because I believe there is. Do you believe there's a difference between foot placement and actual footwork? Do you believe there's a difference?
Yeah, it's a difference.
I believe. There's
difference.
Hold on. And so
go ahead, Lenore. Go ahead.
You answer the question first. You have an answer. Sorry.
The foot placement and foot movement, I do think there's a difference. And
yes,
I was getting ready to get to a prime example of that, because you have Loma in your 5 list. You have Loma in your 5 list. Loma has the best. He has the second best foot movement out of your 5. He has the second best foot movement out of your 5.
Yeah,
I got Usyk first.
And
go ahead, Lenore. Go ahead.
Yeah, and answering the question. Yes, there is a difference. There's a difference between having foot placement, knowing where to place your feet, technically knowing where to place your feet, and being fluid with your feet, right? Footwork. Those are 2 separate things, right? So that, yes, I do agree, because that's why when people say Spencer's flat-footed, I do not agree, because I believe that I think he has enough athleticism not to call him flat-footed, but that's a whole other argument. So let me not even bring that up. But if you're talking about foot placement and footwork, I do believe those are 2 separate things. And that's why that's our argument. Foot placement, not necessarily footwork. Or versatility when it comes to the footwork. That's not necessarily what we're saying. We're just saying where he places his feet at, he does very, very, very well.
Oh, no, I get you. So I'll give you an example. So Lenore, when he throws punches, one thing that Spence does, which people with the foot placement that he has would normally do, is they will normally fall over his feet. Spence rarely ever falls over his feet. No, like, I'll give you an example. Jeff, when Dillian Whyte fights, Dillian Whyte's feet is normally in situations where it's not actually that bad in terms of where it is, because he tends to stay in good distance. Majority of the time, he overcooks his punches and he falls over his feet. His judgment of distance isn't as good as a Spence. Now, let's bring up Usyk and Bivol. Usyk has much better footwork. There is nobody in this sport, and I can go through the stats, that has better foot placement. And when I talk about foot placement, Jeff, the textbook is Dimitri Bivol. This dude is, and that is my standard in terms of knowing where every single step is in the ring. Andrade has amazing footwork. He's ridiculously quick across the ground. But if you look at where he is as a southpaw, he always does get his right foot on the outside. And in my opinion, I feel like his foot placement is better than Errol as well. But he is also very athletically gifted. So I can't really say that, because, and also I've never really seen Dimitri. But one thing about Demetrius is he falls over his feet. So he has good foot placement, but he doesn't have a good footwork sometimes, because he falls over his feet when he's going forward. So when Spence is going forward, I acknowledge the fact that this guy doesn't fall over his feet. But where he steps to initiate the attack and initiate the offense, to me, isn't correct. Where he steps to initiate the attack isn't where you should place
Okay,
your
and
feet.
Shane. Okay, we hear. Okay, put a pin in that. We hear what you're saying. Now we see what you're saying. But with that being said, like you said, to you, that is you just don't like. You may not particularly like what he does, right? So that's your opinion. You may not particularly like where he places his feet, or whatever the case may be, or how he sets up his offense. But again, that comes down to your personal preference. But for what he does well, or excuse me, for what he does, we're saying he does that well. You get that?
I can't argue. Firstly, this is why I was saying to you that I could never be a Spence hater. I could never argue how effective Spence is to me. And I was even saying this the other day when people were talking about Boots and Spence. I was like, you can't put Boots a favor over Spence. So don't ever get it twisted and think that I don't. And that's what I was saying when you think I'm a Spence hater. Trust me, I'm not. I've never not wanted Spence to win a fight. And someone said it the other day, if Spence beat Crawford, would I be upset? I would be happy if Spence beat Crawford, because guess what? I would actually see the best fight the best. I don't really care. It's just preference. It's my preference. And I don't like when I see fighters place their feet where he places his feet. I don't like it.
Okay, Shane. Okay, Shane, and that has to do with footwork, correct? For you, your opinion, footwork, correct?
No, that has to do with
That's
foot
not really
placement.
Okay, that's our point. G5, you see what I'm saying? That's our point. That has to do with footwork. You said footwork. You don't like particularly like his footwork, what he does with his footwork.
No,
Fine,
I don't like
that's
the way where he places his feet. That's what I said. I don't like where he places his feet.
But no, you just said G5. You hear what he just said? You just said right now that you don't like his feet. You don't like his footwork. And I asked you that question, and you said no, I do not. Correct?
No, I said foot placement.
You meant
Unless I didn't hear your question
Okay.
properly. Unless I didn't hear your question, or I'm pretty said I said foot placement. I don't like where he places his feet.
Oh, okay.
Well,
whatever.
You're the so with foot placement, like you there has to be some element of footwork in order to get the foot placement. So they do coincide. They do coincide with each other.
My point is very simple. Is the fact that as a fighter that he fights, this is my epiphany. I feel like when Spence fights someone who has longer arms than him and knows how to place their feet correctly, they will beat Spence. Purely and simply because he doesn't place his feet in the right place, and they're going to be able to pivot him and spin him the whole fight and the whole night. That's what I believe.
Lennar, let me cook off that. So here's my thing with the whole foot placement thing. I love guys that have foot placement and they're disciplined enough to have it, even though they have the athleticism. Like Loma has really good foot placement, but he has a lot of athleticism, so he can get to his spots a lot easier. You understand what I'm saying? He can get to his spots a lot easier because of the athleticism. The guys that I like the most is the guys that maximize the technical ability and they don't necessarily have the athletic ability. So you take a Bivol. Shane, we say it all the time. He's the most efficient fighter in the sport. Offensively, he's the most efficient fighter in the sport. Defensively, he's the most efficient fighter in the sport. But he's not quick. He's not fast. He don't have fast footwork. None of that. Right?
He just knows where to be.
He just knows where to be. And the reason why Bivol is the best at it is because he's top 3 in the sport in terms of his foot placement.
Right.
His foot placement is always either even or it's on the outside of his opponent. Now, one thing that Bivol does well is he throws. Now, this is where he differs from Spence. He will throw a punch. He'll do a throwaway punch
just to create a space.
Just to create his space and get his foot on the outside of his opponent. There's very few in the sport that does that.
Yeah.
Right. So Bivol is next level with it, right? And I'm gonna go to the next person. You take a Usyk, right? Usyk footwork is Loma's at heavyweight. It's Loma's at heavyweight. You rarely see Usyk even throw a punch unless he got his foot on the outside of his guy. He will move around the ring. He will posture. He will judge distance. He will not throw until he gets his foot outside of yours. That's what makes Usyk so great. So that's another version of foot placement, right? You take hold on a second, Lenard. Let me get through the rest of these. So you take a Loma. Loma has really good foot placement because what he does is he gets his foot over top of his guy because he uses his athleticism to get there. That little, and Shane, you know what I'm talking about. That little hop step that he does, that little hop step that he does is money every single time. And that's what he started doing with Tio from 8 on. That little hop, and we talked about that. That little hop step that he does, he gets to the target every single time, and it's almost like he locks his guy in, and that's why he's able to get shots off because his foot placement is there, and then he got you at a 45 angle, so he's kind of like he's kind of standing along.
They call the Matrix.
So he's kind of he's kind of stuck on your shoulder almost. You know what I'm saying? So that's another version of foot placement, right? So that's 3 different guys. 3 different versions.
I'll give you.
Who else?
And let G5 now give your other. Assuming you're gonna go with Spence with that, I'm not sure, but let him give his version. Hold on.
What was the 4th person?
I thought you were gonna name Spence. You said about his version of
Oh no. So I was gonna get to that. So with Spence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is where I want to go with it. So with Spence, right? Spence don't have that hop step because he ain't got the athletic ability to do it. Spence is not gonna do what Usyk is gonna do because his dimensions are better than most of the guys in the division.
Facts.
All right, that's number 2. Then what Bivol does is he's so disciplined with his footwork that he's able to not only get his shots off, but he's able to negate the guy from actually getting their shots off on him. Now with Spence, this is why I say his foot placement is very good because foot placement brings efficiency. It brings efficiency offensively. It brings efficiency defensively. You're maximizing your offensive potential and you're minimizing your opponent's potential because they don't have the angles on you to actually return fire. Exactly. Now, I will give you the credit for this, Shane. Part of that, in terms of the length of his arms, advantage.
Yes.
Advantage. I give you that. I give you that. The length of his arms doesn't equal out to efficiency. There's other guys in the sport that has long arms and they not efficient at all. They're not efficient at all. I'll give you a prime example.
Robert Easter Jr.
Yeah, Robert Easter Jr. Arms as long as hell, but he's not disciplined. He don't have foot placement. He don't care about foot placement.
He don't care
about foot placement. So he's always him being even with his guy is the best case scenario with him. 8 times out of 10, he's on the wrong side of the fence.
Or he's square.
Or he's square. So with Spence at his lowest point, he's even with his guy. And the reason I know he's even with his guy is because, like you said, Shane, you don't ever see him stumbling over his feet.
Never.
I've never seen it once in a fight.
Never.
Spence has one of the best, bases in the sport. Solid base. You almost never see him off balance. See him off balance. That's another sign. That's another sign of foot placement. So then you take it to the next level, right? So when you're walking a guy down, so let's take the Danny fight, for instance, right? Take the Danny fight. So if Spence has his foot on the outside of Danny's, what's Danny's favorite shot?
The right hand.
The no-look hook.
The hook.
Yeah.
The hook.
we can count on one hand how many times he actually attempted the no look hook. He couldn't get it off because he wasn't at an angle to throw it.
Exactly.
He wasn't at an angle to throw it because number one, and I'm gonna give you credit here, Shane, the long jab was bothering him. Number two, not only did he have a long jab, Spence had his foot on the outside of Danny's. And then on top of that, he was closing the distance all at the same time.
Okay.
So Danny, he couldn't even get his money shot off.
So
I
agree with that. But
okay,
you also have to acknowledge, Jeff, and this is just me being honest. You also have to acknowledge, did Danny not fight square that whole fight?
Yeah, he fought square, but he fought square, okay, and that's Danny. That's Danny.
And that is Danny. But let's be fair here. Part of the reason why he fought square that fight was because his opponent made him fight square.
Danny was going to fight square. Danny was going to fight square regardless.
That is Danny. He does he fought square against Ivan Redcat, hella square against Ivan Redcat for sure. That's part of him. I'm just saying that his opponent made him even fight a little bit more square.
Yeah, hey Leonard, and here's the thing. Danny he's been fighting square his whole career.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Name a fight where he wasn't able to get that no look hook off.
Shit, I don't even know.
He gets his no look hook off with everybody. It don't matter if it's southpaw, orthodox.
What was crazy about that fight is Danny Garcia was landing more right hooks than he was against his leg. He couldn't even we run the right hook. I didn't even see really too much of the left hook. He was more of right hooks.
Yeah, Lenore, let me tell you. Hold on, Lenore. Let me give you.
The truth is, though, when you're fighting a southpaw, it is very, very, very difficult. Well, when you're standing square and you're fighting a southpaw, it's very difficult to land a left hook. When you're standing square, when you're not standing side on like a Wilder, when Wilder was landing that check left hook against Ortiz, that's because he was fighting side on. But when you're fighting square and someone's there, it's very difficult for you to get your left hook off because it's just the shot ain't there. The dude ain't open for that punch.
Yeah, and it's in that scenario, like for the orthodox fighter, the only shot that's really available where it really don't take you off balance is really the straight right hand.
Yeah.
It's really the straight right hand, and I think this, and Leonard, I'm glad you were able to get on here because this is kind of like a glimpse of like the back and forth that Shane and I be having off camera, but I think this is why I like to have these conversations.
The truth is, bro, like as you can see, like Leonard Leonard, you'll be able to see, and I'm glad you were able to come on because as you were able to get into the intricacies of boxing. This is a conversation that is very, very, very particular when it comes to what we're analyzing. We're not just analyzing a scenario. We're analyzing actual trends and habits.
Yeah.
And certain things mean different. You say certain things that can mean something different.
By the way, Leonard, I'm not a spectator, bro.
Hey, Leonard, he not a spectator. I can vouch for that. He not a spectator.
I said that because it kind of looked like because of the energy. But I mean, I'm not gonna. I won't harp on that.
Hey, Leonard, but I'm gonna tell you where I think the disconnect is where. With Shane's opinion and ultimately your opinion and mine, I think the amount of times that Spence is actually even with the footwork with his opponent, I think that's where the disconnect is. So I think a lot of times,
you know what else it is, bro. You know what else it is.
No, but you know what? Somebody that we haven't even named that is not exactly the most athletic and crazy footwork, but has beautiful footwork. And you guys are gonna be like, oh my, how we forget about him? Is Bernard Hopkins. He's a perfect example of what kind of.
I didn't know we was. We was keeping it like current. Yeah, I didn't know.
But
I didn't know we was talking about old fighters. We could go all day. We be on here for 5 hours.
I'm just saying Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah, but
he's a perfect example. Then if we want to make an argument for Spence and his foot placement.
But even with B-Hop, B-Hop had more of a hop style with his foot placement.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and the thing that made B-Hop so great, is he used to do that hop thing with other orthodox
But,
fighters.
but,
And he used to
but
hop in, you hop in and kind of hop. He still had a little bit of
That hop in and get his shots off, hop on the outside, get his shots off. Yeah.
Exactly. That's
it's
my point. Is
the
that
thing is,
would you
what,
say that he has footwork like a Pernell Whitaker, Bernard
who?
Hopkins?
Nah,
Yeah, that's what I'm
nah,
saying.
different.
That's
It's different.
exactly.
It's,
That's my point. That's my point.
Go ahead,
That's my
Shane.
point, Shane.
I was gonna say about Spence that where I feel like the real disconnect is he doesn't have conventional southpaw foot placement. That's
No,
where
But see, I think I actually think his foot placement. Now in terms of foot placement, I got Usyk 1, I got Bivol 2, I got Spence 3. And I'm gonna tell you why I have those 3.
in the entire sport.
Yes, I'm gonna tell you why.
Jesus
Those
Christ.
those three, I
Shane, you
have
don't
those
understand.
3. I have those 3. You want to know why I have those 3?
Go
Because
ahead.
they're all southpaw, right? If you break down the numbers, we can go eye test and we can go numbers. They're the three most efficient southpaws in the sport. They're the
Bivol's
three
not a
most
southpaw.
efficient.
Bivol's orthodox.
Right. But they're the 3 most efficient guys in the sport. They're the 3 in terms of numbers. They're the 3 most efficient guys in the sport.
I really have to look
We
at
can even go off the eye test, bro. We can even go
Yeah,
off the eye test.
I
How many
yeah,
times?
yeah.
How many times have you seen Bivol in danger?
hardly ever.
How many times have you seen Usyk in danger?
Hardly ever.
How many times
But-
have you seen Spence in danger?
But how many times have I seen Usyk fight someone with longer arms or better dimensions? How many times have I seen Bivol fight someone with better dimensions? How many times have I seen Errol fight someone with better dimensions?
Okay,
That's my point.
fair.
But that has nothing to do with how a person places their feet, though.
Exactly.
But
You
I
understand what I'm saying?
feel like
I feel
because of how
too.
tall he is, and not tall, because of how long he is, and because of how good he is, that understanding where his opponent is in terms of where my punch starts and where my punch ends, and extending a long arm, I don't have to have good foot placement, like I mentioned with the 2 Klitschko brothers.
And let me factor this in as well, Shane. He for a long time he was the IBF champion, right?
Mhm.
So they were doing same day weights.
Yeah.
So we can't even say he was a weight bully.
I've never called Spence a weight bully.
I'm not saying
never
you.
called him.
I'm not saying you in particular, but that's the
That is a narrative that
thing.
people
That's a
use,
narrative that people use, and I
personally,
never
I don't
agree with
feel
it.
like it's conducive to Spence, because if you think
Yeah.
about it, Spence is a very clean fighter. Spence is a very clean fighter. Like he likes to get his shots off. Like we saw Brandon Figueroa last week. That's that's a messy fighter.
Bro,
He's
you know who
fighter.
a good person. You know who a good person to ask this question to, though?
Who?
Stay ready.
But Stay Ready loves Spence. So
yeah,
it's not fair.
but Stay Ready gonna give you a technical breakdown, though. You got to give him that, though.
He will give me a technical breakdown.
You know who I forgot? I said I named Chris Argyri, and even though this other fighter was past his prime, but another person is Lamont Peterson. Lamont Peterson couldn't get his shit off worth shit when he fought Earl Spence without foot placement.
The thing that Spence does, which allows him to get at least even with his opponent. Spence is probably one of the best in the sport at setting and resetting. What I mean by that is if he's kind of mid-range and he don't like what he's going on, he's really good at taking that half step back and full step back, and he'll walk towards you in an angle which puts his foot or over top of the opponent. So there's little small things that Spence does.
Let me ask you a question. When me and you talk about Tyson Fury, do we not constantly talk about the fact that this guy has ridiculous dimensions?
Mm-hmm.
And what do people always say? He has amazing footwork. And what do we say? No, he just has amazing dimensions.
Yeah, his footwork is really good for the dimensions, but his foot placement sucks.
To be fair, even you can't compare Tyson Fury and Spence when it comes to that. I mean, Tyson Fury is like 40 fucking pounds above, all
Now,
the
I
other
mean,
heavyweights.
when I mean dimensions, I just mean I'm not comparing them to at all because they fight so different. And
No,
Spence
not
is
fighting
so
style. I'm just talking about. I'm saying what you're saying. We're talking about like size, correct?
yeah, no, but I wasn't even comparing them because Spence actually fight coordinated. But what I was saying was a lot of people because of how good he is at getting people at the end of a punch, or how good he is at drawing a line in the sand and not letting people get on the inside against him. People think that he has good foot placement. I'm like, no, he's just so
No,
cool.
no, he jumps in and out. You're forgetting that point.
No, bro. Tyson
You're
Fury
forgetting that. What we go?
makes a lot of footwork mistakes.
Oh
Trust
no, I
me.
thought you talking about Spence. Okay, you talking about Tyson Fury. I'm sorry.
No, I'm
Yeah,
talking about Tyson Fury.
yeah, Fury.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the thing about Fury, that's another guy that has incredible dimensions. But if you want to go down that road, his dimensions are actually better dimensions than the Klitschko's. But
Oh,
Tyson Fury,
way better.
Tyson
Way better than
Fury,
the Klitschko.
but Tyson Fury couldn't do what the Klitschko's was doing. You know what I mean?
No.
So it's the
And can I
dimensions, and
can
then
I
you
ask you?
gotta
And
add, then you
can I
gotta
ask you
throw
a
a little something
question?
else in it. Go ahead, Lenore.
And Tyson Fury, not to discredit him, but we can definitely agree that Tyson Fury's size definitely helps play a role in his dominance.
Of course.
I mean, he's just so. I mean, he's by far the biggest guy there.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
I'll say this, bro.
I think that
He got his size is a big factor, but let's keep it real. He moved like a light heavy though. He moves like a light
no, he
heavy.
moved
For
like
that, for his
no, for
size,
sure.
he
No,
shouldn't be moving the way
I'm
he
not
moving.
taking I'm not taking away his skill. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying his size is kind of playing a factor in
No,
why he's so
it's
dominant.
conducive
And
to
like,
what
I mean,
he's doing. Absolutely.
yeah. What can you do when you face somebody who's as skilled as him and just bigger? You see what I'm saying? It's just he might be one of these fighters who go undefeated in his generation, just because of his size, his skills, but also because his size. He's just big.
I
That's
get
why
you,
it's gonna be
Lenore.
hard to beat him.
I get you,
Yeah.
Lenore,
Huh?
and I almost agree with you. But the thing, what people need to understand is Tyson Fury makes enough mistakes in and outside of the ring for where we've already seen people almost capitalize on. I just feel like if he fights consistent enough, you will end up seeing him lose. Like the Otto Wallen fight, for example, the Deontay Wilder fight. There was a fight where he fought someone called Nevin Pikage real early in his career, where he got dropped on his back. Steve Cunningham. Like he makes enough mistakes.
He makes enough mistakes where he can get knocked out. And I say, is that what you're trying to say? Yeah, I agree with that. It's just that
no, but he also could have got stopped. He's like, let's keep it real. He could have got stopped against Wilder. He could have got stopped against Otto Wallen. Like those fights could have been.
The Otto Wallen one was a headbutt, but I mean, yes.
No, it wasn't a headbutt. It wasn't a headbutt. It was actually a punch.
Excuse me, a cut. I'm sorry. It was a cut.
Yeah.
And then but
my point is,
I agree with your point that he does. He gives you opportunities.
But I do believe, and I say this all the time. That's why people say, "Oh, Tyson Fury is the best fighter," and all that. The truth is, if Tyson Fury was 6'6" or 6'7", he wouldn't, or 6'5", he wouldn't be as good as he is right now.
Agreed. We completely agree with that. G5, what do you think?
I can't even take it away from him because it's God-given.
I agree. Like I mean, it's just he can't help the fact that he's 6'9" and 280 pounds. He can't help that. I mean, it is what it. But he's a prime example that dimensions alone is not going to get you where you need to be. You know what I mean? There has to be other elements to the equation. Outside of that, I just think, I guess, to kind of wrap things up as far as Spence is concerned, I just think he just
Does Spence
the reason
beat Boots, in your opinion, no? Does Spence beat Boots? I want to ask you, does Spence beat Boots or no?
Does Spence what?
Does Spence beat Boots, Jerron Ennis?
Okay, so let me tell you. Again, we don't exactly know where Spence is at right now. Assuming that he's 100%, he definitely has the best chance out of everybody in welterweight to beat him, just because he's a big guy himself and has more experience. But if he fought Crawford, I think that again, because I think so if Jerome fought Crawford or Crawford fought Spence, I just think that those fights end in knockouts. I think those fights really do it, and the reason why, because it's stylistically, I think that those fights end in knockouts. So, for example, if Crawford went and fought Boots right now, I think that he's going to trade with Boots, and he's going to get knocked out. I mean, he just, it's just I really think he's going to get knocked out. At least with Spence, he'll keep. One thing about him, he's, even though people say that he's undisciplined outside the ring, well, he's very disciplined inside the ring. I mean, he's one of those guys that if you're an Army recruiter, he's going to follow every exact rule to the T. So he doesn't waste punches, and he hits to land. So so it'll be interesting. I think Crawford has a lot of pride, and he's going to get in a firefight with one of these guys, and that's why I think that he'll get in a firefight and knock him out. Bam.
Yeah, so, I think I'm gonna get killed for saying this because I'm in Philly. I'm gonna get killed for saying this. As far as Bud is concerned, I'm talking about in terms of actual style wise. I think Bud is the better matchup for Boots. I think Boots wins that fight because I think Boots reminds me of Bud, just more athletic
and bigger.
And bigger. So I like Boots in the fight against Bud. And mind you, Boots is my boot. I mean, Bud is top 3 pound for pound for me. But this is a style make fights type thing.
For me as well.
Wait, who's your pound for pound number one, Leno?
Canelo.
Sorry, me and you have to disagree.
No, I mean, a lot of people don't like that, but I think he's just done too much in his last couple of years. That's why, and I have Crawford on number 2. Number 2 or 3 between him and Usyk.
I'm sorry, Usyk has to be number 1 for me. I'm sorry.
I'm not. Yeah, I can definitely like. I don't have Crawford 1. I can't put him 1, but I would have him definitely in the top 3.
But when it comes to the point of, and I said this to YSM the other day, I said when Boots fights White or Boots fights Bud, or if Boots fights Bud, that fight is definitely ending in a knockout. And the same thing if he fights Spence. That's fight Crawford. I mean,
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I was getting ready to get into that. Let me get into that real quick, and we gonna close this thing. We almost went for 3.5 hours. And Leonard, this makes up for the other 2 days I couldn't get you on too. You've been cooking for like 2 hours. As far as the Spence fight, Spence has the best chance of beating Boots for these reasons. Number one, nobody's ever put anything in front of Boots for him to think about. That jab is going to give him something to think about. That's number one. Number 2, Spence is a big dude, yo. He is a big 147. He should have been fighting at 154 for the past 5 years. So Boots is not going to walk into that fight with no size advantage.
Yeah,
that's number 2.
I think Ennis is slightly bigger, but they're very close. I think he's not going to have an advantage. He's not going to have an advantage too much.
He's not going to have an advantage size-wise. The third thing is we haven't seen Boots in front of them lights. When them lights is bright, we have not seen Boots in that position. So you're really going off of faith. Yeah, you're really going off of faith and your eye test. That's number 3. Number 4, and this is the most important thing, Spence throws short shots. Even though he don't throw with his guy, he gets most of his knockdowns or knockouts because when his guy get finished throwing,
which is very rare.
Say it again.
When they come, which is very rare, but continue.
Right. So when a guy gets finished punching, because Spence he's almost always in position to land. Almost all of his knockout shots are short shots. A lot of them short hooks.
Yeah, I do.
Short counters. When you fighting a guy dynamic like Boots, those are the shots that beats the dynamic guys. The guys with the short shots. Bud don't have short shots. He don't know what a short shot is. Nope. All his joints is All his shots is looping wide, and he gets away with it because of his footwork, and he bounces in and out well. Spence has the best chance of beating Boots because you need to throw in between Boots. You got to beat him to the punch. Basically,
Honestly,
you have to beat him to the punch.
Leonard, this is me being honest, and this is me being dead honest. And I know you said the fight's gonna end in a knockout, and I know why you think that between Spence and Bud, because Bud gets into a firefight, and that's one thing I hate about Bud. But I tell you this: if Bud fights like how he fought Postal, and I always say this, and I've never seen him fight like this since the Postal fight. But if he fights like how he fought Postal, I think he beats Spence. Because I just think he's going to use lateral movement the whole
and I hear what you're saying, but how disrespectful of you that you think that you can compare Earl Spence and his footwork and ability to cut the ring off and even think that a Crawford could keep him up off of him and use out and just box him from the outside. That is so disrespectful. Who do you think Spence is? Is some scrub that can't get on the inside of him?
It's not disrespectful. You just want to win more rounds.
It's different if you said Bud Crawford has a higher ring IQ, but Crawford is more athletic, but Crawford is more if he has a more arsenals in his toolbox. If you even said Bud was a better boxer, fine.
He's a better boxer.
To say that. But to say that he's going to be able to keep Spence on the outside, like he's just some fat-footed...
I didn't say he's going to do it for the whole fight.
Hold on, let me finish.
I'm not saying he's going to do it for the whole fight. I'm not saying
you're saying that, but to make it seem like he's just some fat-footed Jeff Horn or Victor Postol that can't get on the inside is highly underrating somebody like him.
I did not say that. What my point is, the mentality that he came in against Victor Postol was to deploy lateral movement. Yes, obviously Errol Spence at points is going to get on the inside, but I think over the course of 12 rounds, that style will win more rounds over Spence than if Spence was chasing him for 12 rounds. I don't think Spence is going to be able to cut off the ring enough for him to win 12 rounds.
Let me throw this at you, Lennar, before we roll out. The reason why that's not a disrespectful comment is because Boots can fight both ways. He can fight orthodox. He can
he was saying Spence and Crawford.
I'm talking about Bud.
Bud. Spence and Bud. The reason why that's not a disrespectful comment is because if Boots goes orthodox, goes orthodox, right, Bud. So if I'm sorry, I said Boots, I'm sorry. If Bud goes orthodox and he tries to fight like Postal, right? Spence can keep his same game plan and he'll have some success. All right. But if Bud goes southpaw and he gives that same style as he did with Postal, just the fact that he's southpaw alone, it takes away a lot of Spence's advantages in terms of what he does offensively. That jab is not going to be as effective just simply because he's in the southpaw stance. Number two, is going to be harder for him to cut the ring off again because he's in the southpaw stance. Then on top of that, I'm like, Bud has the quicker feet. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that Bud could pull that off from out of this over a 12-round period in the southpaw stance.
So what are you saying, Sean? Are you saying that he has a better chance to win more rounds if he boxes him? Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I just said.
Okay. Yes, yeah. I agree. He has a better chance, but I do not agree that he's going to be able to keep him on the outside. And G5, when you made that example of when you said I actually think that so it's funny how you view it when you say if Bud southpaw turns southpaw. I view it as the advantage that Terrence Crawford is not going to have the advantage of going southpaw against Spence, being that southpaw. Earl Spence is just a natural southpaw. So he's not going to have. I don't think he's going to have that advantage of going southpaw on him.
Hey, Lennar,
so that's the way I view it. Go ahead.
Hey, Lennar, the thing is though, he goes southpaw against everybody.
Understand? No, yeah, I understand. But
but the thing is,
name me a fighter of the caliber of that Crawford has fought of Spence southpaw.
No, nobody. Okay. No, we're not even debating that. We're not even debating that. No, we with you on that. We're not even debating that.
We can't debate that because
you can't debate that. No. That's a fact. Like, that's
why
not even
I'm
debatable.
Not comprehensive. You're gonna say it's a. As I said, I've always said it's a fight that I want to see. If I thought that Crawford was just gonna beat Spence so easy, I wouldn't want to watch the fight because there's no point.
Hey, Shane,
and
it's so
let me
competitive.
give you a stylistic breakdown of why I think this fight ended a knockout and why I favor Spence. Assuming that he's healthy.
Right.
I'm just assuming he's healthy, right?
That's funny that you
Because
said
he gets
that.
a tune-up in and he's fine, right? He's all right.
Okay.
Okay. So the reason why I believe is because, okay, let's say that Crawford southpaw, right? He did the Victor Postal approach.
Right.
At the end of the day, you're facing somebody that if you're gonna box on the outside and jab him, that means you're not going, like, you're not being offensive, correct? That means you're using lateral movement. You're moving. You're sticking. You're moving, correct? You're not going in. You're not making an offensive fight, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then you go against somebody with a style that is going to be able to, again, in my opinion, well, we've seen it, is going to be able to jab his way in and cut the ring off, regardless. And the one thing you can say that, yes, Crawford has a speed advantage, but then if you're going to say that, are you saying that Spence has no way to get in? You see what I'm saying? Because if Spence,
I'm not
if
saying
Crawford's,
that.
if Crawford's going to be on the back foot, that's what I'm saying. If Crawford's going to be on the back foot using lateral movement, you're going to have to expect a guy like Spence of his caliber to be able to get on the inside of a Crawford. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well,
But you know, Leonard, that people have won fighting against inside fighters just off a stick. You know that, right? People can win fights.
What I'm saying, okay, this is what I'm trying to say. Even if Crawford was using lateral movement, it's not like Spence doesn't have an answer for that, being that he has his ability to cut off the ring and use his outside movement like his jab to set up his offense and get in on the inside. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. But this is the reason why I'm highlighting the southpaw stance from Bud. The main way Spence gets to his spots, number one is the jab, number one is the foot placement. Like we all know in the sport of boxing, southpaws are not used to fighting southpaws.
Nope.
That's the first thing. If someone is used to fighting southpaws at 147, it's Bud. It's Bud because he always puts himself in a southpaw stance. You know what I'm saying? He always puts himself in a southpaw stance.
But then, would you say that he's a better southpaw than a natural southpaw like Earl Spence?
No, they have two different styles. So the reason why, they have two completely different styles. The fact that Bud is more athletic out of the southpaw stance, it just gives him more options. He gives him more options. Well, so with Spence, if I was Spence, right, in order for Spence to win this fight, he would have to completely, in my opinion, completely commit to the body for the first 4 or 5 rounds.
And I forget about that. I mean, we haven't even touched the body thing, but I don't. And that's but what I'm saying is that, in my opinion, I don't view it like that. What I view is that, okay, this is what I view. I view that, okay, I see two different fights here. I see a fight where Terrence Crawford is using, like Shane said, lateral movement and moving and trying to, be faster, more athletic, scoring points. You know what I'm saying? I see that. But then when I see that, I see a man coming in more and more on Crawford, being that he has a size advantage, being that he is style, he's able to put the pressure, cut the ring off, establish the jab, establish range and distance. So he's putting more pressure on Crawford. And then as the fight goes on, you start to see it become more of a firefight. And we know how Bud is. Hit me, I'm going to hit you back. Hit me, I'm going to hit you back. Hit me, I'm going to hit you back. You understand what I'm saying? So however long Crawford may be able to keep the outside, it's not. I don't think he's going to be able to do that for too long.
I agree.
Before it becomes a firefight.
That's why I think it's a 50-50 fight.
But that's why. But yeah, exactly, Shane. That's you 100% right.
If Crawford was disciplined and wouldn't be in firefights, I would make him a firm favorite. But the fact that he likes firefights is why I'm thinking he's giving Spence a real good chance.
What you just said, Lennar, is the reason why everybody wants to see the fight. Because you can see the scenario that you pitched. I could see that happening. I could see that happening,
That's
and it's
probably the
really
most likely
that's
scenario.
the most likely scenario.
But and that's
So
and
that's what
why
makes it a
that's why
50-50
when you
fight.
have two guys who are skilled like this, then how are you gonna pick a winner? You pick a stylistic winner, correct? It's like, well, fuck, these guys, he's good in here, good, he's good in this
Well,
angle. Again,
but the
again,
thing
and we
is,
didn't, and we haven't even, like you said, you brought up a point that I didn't even think about, the body. We saw Crawford get a little bit tired against Sean Porter. He was a little bit tired towards like the 8th, 9th round because it was a high action fight. So if Earl Spence is going to his body, getting rough and tough, and they're using his size against Terrence Bud Crawford, what do you think is going to happen? Again, we have to understand that Sean Porter was pushing Terrence Crawford. It was a tussling match, right? You saw Sean Porter using strength against Crawford, and you also saw Crawford using strength against Porter. It was like a rumble. It was a rumble in there, right? Until the 10th round, right? They're basically going back and forth, trying to establish size in there. Is what I'm trying to say. So if you see, and then Sean Porter was lunging in with his punches because
Can
Terrence
I ask you a
Crawford was so
question?
long.
How
So
much time?
what I'm saying is not putting skills aside. We're gonna have to. What I'm going based off is, of course, is if he's healthy again. Again, if he's healthy, what I'm going based off is the stylistic matchup of it. And again, Earl Spence being a disciplined fighter in there, right? I don't see his defense is not as leaky as Crawford's when it comes to the exchanges, in my opinion.
No,
So
when it comes to
that's
the
why
exchanges, it is.
and people are not talking about this. We're talking about a guy who's bigger, who's
but
gonna be he is going to have a size advantage in there.
but Leonard,
Yeah.
but every point you just made has to do with style.
Yes, I said,
Right, but you said both guys are so skilled that how can you say somebody can stylistically win? You just explained how
no. I
Spence can
said both
stylistically win.
guys are so skilled putting skills to the side. I'm talking about a stylistic matchup. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Okay.
Spence, so Spence. There's a stylistic way Spence can win this fight, and for Bud, there's a stylistic way for him to win the fight. I think the key to the fight is really going to come down to Bud's mentality. Like, how many times
Yeah,
is he going to actually get into a dog fight with Spence? Because
because
that doesn't
there
go to
is
his
a
advantage.
chance.
And what? Oh,
There is
and I
Go
a
ahead,
was
Shane.
saying
Go ahead, Shane.
there is a chance where
Bud's way. Oh, I didn't give you guys my way. I think Bud's best chance is if basically if he makes it like an outside fight. If he makes it from a rangy fight, but again, I don't think he's going to be able to do that against somebody. You see my point? I don't think he's going to be able to do that against a Spence because I think he's going to be able to come in and start to cut the ring off, and it's going to become a firefight.
Hey, Lenore, how many times have you seen him do that against a southpaw, a credible southpaw?
Who? Crawford?
No, Spence against a credible southpaw.
And we haven't seen it yet.
Exactly.
We haven't seen it yet.
Exactly.
and my point is the problem I have with, and I didn't even get to say this, the problem that I have with me outright saying that that's going to happen, because even if that does happen, before he gets to that, he's going to be having to give up rounds. That is my point. So let's say if it took him a while to get accustomed to Kell Brook, who is very, very ordinary, extremely ordinary. I think Kell Brook's a rubbish fighter. He took him a while to get accustomed, and then once he got on the inside, he worked him out, and then he really just teed off on him. But it took him a while before it happened, like maybe 6-7 rounds before that happened.
Took him a while.
That's a lot of rounds.
And hold on. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, Shane. Go ahead.
Now I was gonna say that's a lot of rounds.
Okay, and to crush that argument right here, what was Kell Brook doing to Terrence Crawford when they fought? Was he not beating him to the punch until he stopped him?
For 1 minute and 30 seconds.
He
one round and a half.
He won the first round, the second round, arguably won the third round, and Bud stopped him in the fourth. Correct?
No, Bud stopped him in the third.
Fifth? Was it the fifth or the no?
Third.
I think it was the fourth or the fifth.
No, he stopped him in the third.
Third round.
It was a third round? I thought it was the fourth round. Okay. Yeah. But basically, whatever. Kell Brook winning and beating Terrence Crawford to the punch. So let's be fair. Kell Brook beat he beat Gennady Golovkin to the punch. But was he not having success early, and then what happened?
I get what you're saying, bro. But we're talking about cutting off the ring. Both Crawford and Kell, when they were fighting, Crawford stood in the center of the ring. He didn't use lateral movement. My point is, when we saw someone try to deploy that against Errol, and Errol was physically so much better than Kell Brook, and you eventually saw it. But it took him a while. And to be fair, I give him credit for that win because probably it was against the runner plate. He was traveling to another country.
Exactly. I didn't even mention
So
that
there were
part.
so many things that played in part. And I'm not saying he can't do this. I'm not saying he can't. But I just brought this fight up because when I watched that fight, I was thinking it took him a while to break an ordinary Kell Brook down because Kell Brook is very, very, very limited. He can only do one thing, and he only got one punch, and that's a jab. That's
He's
literally
very.
all he does.
He has a good 1-2. But
Oh yeah, he's got a good 1-2.
Yeah,
One,
once you break Kell Brook's 1-2 down, he has nothing else. Once you
nothing
get
else.
through that 1-2, he has nothing. I agree, he has nothing else. After you get past that 1-2, but what I'm saying is,
Wait,
we can make an agreement. We can make an agreement that both Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence, they both were getting the ass handed to them during the first part of the fight. Correct?
I wouldn't say that personally.
Hey, Lenore, you got, is this a 50-50 fight for you?
It's a 50-50 fight for me now because again, I don't know what Spence's next fight is going to be. I'm not sure if he goes in there and fights Terrence Crawford, that truly is a 50-50 fight.
No, if they're both, if Spence is 100% good, is this a 50-50 fight for you?
It's 50-50, but I mean, I favor Spence to win. I just think that
so you're more like a 52-48.
Yeah, I'm more like a
51,
55.
Okay.
55. You know, what was it 55?
You thinking 55-45?
Yeah, it's very, very close.
But there's some people that would have it that way. I'm closing this shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
this might be the longest live podcast we've ever had. 3 hours and 40 minutes strong.
Yeah, this is a strip.
Yeah. I see Crawford beat Brook in the fourth. It wasn't the third. It was a fourth.
It was the fourth.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Hey, Lenore, give him your social media, bro.
My social media is Lenar Thomas _ LENNARTHOMAS _ on Instagram. I don't really post boxing on there, but I'm always willing to chop it up with anybody who wants to talk
boxing. Put this guy in the group chat so him and Will Stokes can get at it, bro. Wow.
Oh my God. Lenore, I'm gonna put you in the group chat, but you have to put it on mute.
Why?
No,
your phone will be ringing all day long.
He's gonna be one of the biggest contributors in that.
Yeah, your phone gonna be ringing all day.
From who?
We got so much.
We got a group chat on Instagram. So every time a message comes through, if you don't put it on mute, your phone is gonna buzz.
Oh yeah.
Your phone's gonna buzz. Your phone is gonna buzz like every minute of the day. Like everybody's talking boxing every minute of the day. So,
but you're gonna be one of the people that they're gonna go at the most.
Because
I don't give a damn. Listen. Let me tell you something about me that I do. I go up. I mean, literally. I go up against guys and I go to the Crawford fan pages a lot, and I will literally go again. I mean, seriously, I'm standing there by myself on an island of my own. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys going against me at once.
There's a part,
I still hold my motherfucking own.
The fact that you do that tells me there's a chance that you could be a kind of Crawford hater. The fact that you go to Crawford.
Oh no! I know. Listen.
Hey, that's kind of funny, yo. Shane got a point, yo.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite.
That's your favorite topic?
Yeah,
I love that topic.
It's my favorite topic of boxing right now.
No, I hear you.
Lenore, I'm gonna put you in the group chat, right? Like I said, I think it's like in the top right-hand corner, you had an option to put it on mute. So essentially what the mute button does, like you'll be able to see the messages, but your phone's not going off every minute of the day. So we'll definitely put you in there, man. Like, bro, we really appreciate you jumping on, chopping it up with us. We always like to get people getting on here and giving their side of the story, man. So we really appreciate it, bro. Shane, give them your social media, bro.
I'm seeing the number 1. Don't come in my DMs and message me with anything to do with boxing, anyone, because I don't have that strength and energy.
So Shane is exclusively on Instagram. There's probably about a good 15 comments I could not get to. I do apologize. Omar TV, Andre Southgate, and
Will Stokes.
We got the racist dude in here again. They keep on making new accounts.
The racist?
No, it's literally a racist person that comes in here and just
single time,
every single show.
What'd you do to him, G5?
I don't know what I did. I'm black.
No, he's got a racist account. His account is racist.
The account is racist. So yeah, man, and I'm all over the place, man. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, G5 Jeff TV. Go to the website g5jefftv.com. Join the Prediction Fantasy League. We do have Tank versus Eastside Cruz
Oh yeah, bro.
on there
Lennar,
for Sunday.
are you in the prediction league, bro?
I think he is.
Nah.
Oh, you got to get the
Bro, you can't be talking this much trash and you're not.
Yo, you gotta go to the. I'm gonna send you the website. Make your predictions because it's whoever wins the league gets $500
and you talk so much trash about boxing.
And you
bro,
gotta get in. You gotta, and it's free to join. And it's free to join, bro.
Yeah, you guys gotta send me the link.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you.
You gotta see me in this league now.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I'm like motivated. This is the ultimate trash talk league. Like for sure. So
I'm motivated.
I'm gonna send it to you, and then I'm gonna put you in a group chat. And then we can kind of go from there, man. But we done went 3 hours and 45 minutes, about 2 hours and 40 minutes longer than what I expected. And it's time for me to go to sleep. At the end of the day, but we will be back tomorrow. We will be live. We will be covering the Arthur and Yarde fight. We're going to be covering the Haney and JoJo fight, and I think we're going to be on Vlogs channel Sunday for the Tank and Eastside Cruz. So definitely tap in with us tomorrow. On behalf of my man Lennar Thomas, VP Shane, my man BoxingFirst Vlog, and your boy G5 Jeff TV. This was episode 30 of the Goodfellas podcast. We see y'all tomorrow.
Peace.